Ladies and gentlemen, the grand final is finally there. Cloud9 is having a rematch against Team Blaze, and Towers of Doom is our starting map. Zeratul right away banned out by Cloud9, and Team Blaze, they go for a ban on Falstad. I'm really excited for this series here. First of all, we of course had that game already in the winner bracket final, but Team Blaze, they get their revenge match now. Cloud9, they are of course like the team that everybody kind of expected to win this tournament, and well, with Naventi coming in third place, Blaze have already achieved a lot, I feel. Even if they end up with second place here, it's going to be great for them. But Cloud9 is doing what they already did in previous series. They are playing Vikings on Towers of Doom. With a massive commitment, by the way. Commitment to Vikings on a map like this are not really unheard of. It's nothing where we're like looking at it and saying like, oh my god, this is crazy, how could they do this? But it's like the super early commitment to it that is really the important part here. And they did that before in one of the games already, but this is definitely going to be a very cool match. We have Zul and Li Ming both locked down now, which is of course for Blaze also a great start into the draft. It is a best of 5 series, of course, keep that in mind. So game number 1 here is going to be quite special because of the Vikings already. And I want to highlight again that in the last match where the Cloud9 played Vikings for House of Doom, they in the beginning actually fell behind, but were able to turn it around. And of course, they're also trying to go for Muradin here because, well, we all know that Caffeine likes to play Muradin. And this was also a huge deal for them in like every single one of the games that they played so far. But I'm pretty excited for this one. Vikings on Towers of Doom are incredibly strong because you can just like split and send a Viking to every single one of the altars that spawns. Any kind of triple altar event on the map is going to be huge for you. But it's also then the Viking Soak that is, of course, a big deal. Thrall is going to be a nice hero for them as well. So Muradin, Thrall already used, and Team Blaze, they can still think about, okay, how are we going to deal with these Vikings here? I mean, in theory, you can even like go for a hero that has gathering power stacks. We've seen Zeratuls before played by Blaze, where they said, hey, we're going to use a Zeratul in this setup right now. We're going to play him with a cleave build, and we're going to go for gathering power. And that is a chance that you have against the Vikings as well, because every single Viking that you take down is providing you with a full gathering power stack. Also, Seasoned Marksman is capitalizing on Vikings quite nicely. So these are things that you can do. Tassadar banned out now, first of all, and I am very excited for this. Li Ming, by the way, is in theory also a very good hero against Vikings, of course, because she gets a massive amount of resets. But if you talk, Zeratul was banned already, my bad. That's why the Vikings were picked then. So yeah, I was a little bit late on that catch, my bad. Li Ming actually in this case is capitalizing also with the resets. But one of the things that a lot of Vikings players are going to tell you is that you should be safe with Vikings and not die against the Li Ming like crazy. Especially if you commit to jump as one of your talents, you should be able to just like circumvent the disintegrate and make sure that you're not just like losing Vikings the entire time in the big team fights, and that the resets are not going to be that big of a deal to you. But of course, Li Ming, if she plays it correctly and also anticipates that to a certain extent, can really try to play against this quite a bit. Blaze is teasing with Cho'Gall here. I'm not really sure if Cho'Gall would be a good choice in this case. I mean, we have seen Cho'Gall actually on Towers of Doom. A lot of teams are trying to troll it a little bit, especially during the draft. But the problem that you have with Cho'Gall is they're not going to pick it. I don't see that coming. But like, let's say for a moment why that is an issue. Manzi Games, cheers, bro. Cho'Gall would be a bad choice because you limit your own buddies on the map while your opponent has more and can play around you the entire time. Therefore, in this setup, it would be a bad choice for him.
When I see Heroes of the Storm grow, I always think that you are the main contribution. With this, my YouTube Heroes of the Storm channel is growing too. Thanks.
Thank you very much, my friend. Cheers for that comment. And also, of course, good luck with your own channel. Hope that it goes well. Team Blaze goes into Tyrande, which makes a lot more sense. As I said, like the problem with Cho'Gall really is you limit your own buddies on the map. You're restricting yourself to 4 buddies, and your opponent has therefore 7 and can play around you. Vala now also in the mix, could be used here. And in this case, Vala can actually even commit a little bit more to a multi-shot build than before. The auto-attack build is incredibly strong. That hybrid build that we've seen several times by Team Blaze, by Cloud9, by all other teams is super powerful. But we have also seen a full multi-shot build earlier today, which wasn't successful, and I really feel like it was not the best choice. But you can, in theory, commit to something like this if you're up against Vikings. Once that the Vikings start joining the team fights and later fights, having more AoE damage against them is going to be great, and every single Viking kill, of course, is going to result in a reset on Li Ming, which is going to be a very important part there as well. For Cloud9, they still need, of course, some range damage. They don't have that yet. And the 2 heroes that come to mind are Lunara and Greymane. Lunara can, of course, be great in this setup with a lot of poke that you have. You just have to make sure that you're not being locked down by Zul, because Zul plus Tyrande follow-up usually equals a dead Lunara. Getting away from that is only possible if you have a cleanse or if you are running an Uther, Uther Charism. Divine Shield or Palm, doesn't matter. Panic button, that's the big keyword here. So for now, they need a good damage dealer. A lot of damage has already been taken away, as you can see, with the Falstad ban, with the Leeming Pick, and also with the Vala choice. So I'm personally a little bit curious to what they commit to. I really feel that... I was thinking even about a Jaina, but I'm not quite sure if Jaina is really going to be the best choice in this particular setup. Lunara would be my personal pick. Lunara or Greymane, but I would go for Lunara. Greymane is going to result in you having like the Worgen form next to Thrall and Mirrodin in the big fights, and then you are very melee heavy. Centered on one point. I would definitely go for Lunara, and they do a little too. And Morales is a hero that they already played with this particular setup, and they could do it again. You can make a strong argument for Rhaegar here, with, of course, the tidal waves on level 13 and the constant chain heals, especially since you have Vikings in play, that you get more healing numbers out, and as long as you fight with the Vikings, the cooldown reduction that you get thanks to tidal waves is going to be crazy, because you're always going to hit max heroes, and therefore you're going to get max cooldown reduction out of the talent. But Cloud9, they love to play Morales. They have great player here in the Dunk Train on it, and therefore they're going for it. So they play that Morales style. Team plays. Boys, don't get me wrong. I like your Bloodlust. I think it's amazing. It was a great composition for Bloodlust to be used. And it was more important against the last team that they played. They banned out the perfect heroes. And Naventic didn't have anything that would allow them to disengage against Bloodlust. But we all know that you are not going to play a Gazlo here. So thanks for the tease. It's not going to be your Rek'Sai either. So, boys, bring it. Bring out this Johanna. We want to see Johanna right now. And all Stitches, yeah, Hook, Tyrande, that work. Johanna, I would probably have preferred a Johanna, to be honest, but Stitches works too. Stitches has, again, a nice touch, because you have Stitches Hook into Tyrande's stun, which is going to be great, and it's going to help you to interrupt, of course, a few of those channels at the altars. I would have still gone for Johanna, as I think, but I can totally see a Stitches here. So it's not like it's a horrible pick. No, by no means. It's personal preference, and it works really well. It has a great synergy with what else they have with the Zoo lockdown, with Tyrande lockdown. This is going to work really well for them. So it's a great setup. So Cloud9 going up against Team Blaze. And guys, I'm excited for this one. So let's jump in and find out which team is going to take the lead in the best of 5 series. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, and the grand final has started. The best of 5 series kicking off in Towers of Doom with King Kufine for Cloud9 to the left side of the map here at the end of the storm. We have I Dream on Thrall, Arthalon on the Lost Vikings again, K1 Pro on Lunara, and Dunk Train on Morales. To the right side of the map, it is then Team Blaze with big impact on Liming, Cladeus on Zul. We're currently seeing Jason on Vala, you on Tyrande, and B-Kid on Stitches. So yeah, this game is going to be quite a bit of fun, especially since Arthalon is once again showing us that focus on Olaf talents here. We are seeing Olaf the Stoat taken already with the block that he has. This is going to be pretty great later on, especially on level 60 when you have the extra stun on Olaf. This is going to be very, very sweet. So let's see how this is going to turn out for them. I mean, right now at this point we have, of course, Arthalon just like splitting the Vikings on 3 lanes. We're currently seeing in the mid lane also Kids and everybody else trying to get maybe even an early kill here already. Resets are going to be important for Li Ming with the Vikings. A good Viking player, as most Vikings players are going to tell you, are going to try and dodge that. We could see that jump. The only thing that I want to mention in that context is that we actually had in previous games no jump taken. So that was a bit of a thing that definitely happened there. Right now, we are also seeing a bit of a restart here for iDream, but that allows us to go over the talent. So let's have a quick look at the top lane. Arthalon is already trying to soak. As mentioned before, he went for that block on his Olaf, which is going to make his life a little bit easier. Jason is going into that hybrid build again, but we have an adjustment on Zul that has already been taking place here. He's not going into Shade this time. Instead, he is the Backlash. So that is actually a really interesting talent for him to take here. Backlash for a little bit more damage that they are going to have with the output. And talking damage, we are also seeing now for Stitches the Slam talent. Not really focusing on anything else. Keep in mind that with the Vikings, of course, we are going to see like one less body, so to say, in most of the early team fights because of the triple split. At least not real hero. Later on, the Vikings are going to just move in. It's probably going to be play again once more. That has been the talent Arthalon chose the last time on level 10 for his hero, and it makes perfect sense on the map. The dream for him are triple altar events on the map here. And as you can see, we are also in this case having now extra vision with the scouting drone. And especially when we're talking about Lunara, who went for the Blossom Spell, and when we're talking about like Medic Morales, we are going to have both of them in a situation where they really have to pay attention to their positioning, because Stitches with the hook is going to aim for those two. These are the two targets that he really wants to get, and then Tyrande is going to follow it up with a stun immediately. And that should secure a kill, especially with that Bone Prison as an additional lockdown on Zul. So that's definitely something that they can do here. We're having Dream back, and well, the game is now starting for real. Of course, now there's a bit of a rotation going on. You're losing a bit of that lane presence. One of the things that's also important is that with the Viking, you usually don't attack the wave too much. You can see how Arthalon is actually pulling Olaf back. The Balog is already dying in the mid lane. Nothing really too crazy here. But normally what you are trying to do is not push the wave out. If you push the wave out with the Vikings, what's going to happen is that the wave is going to be somewhere over here. Your Viking has to be in a position very far out, and that allows the opponent to rotate onto the lane and take the Viking out immediately. So Arthalon is in his sweet spot right now. That's behind the towers, or close by, trying to make sure that he's soaking the experience. That's all that the Vikings have to do for now. Later on, we can talk about pushing. This early in the game, it's all about making sure that you have a position where you can actually just soak experience, and the rest of the team can rotate around them. Double altar already starting, and at the bot lane we have one of the Vikings, and they are trying to take him down. They're trying to go for Arthalon. Actually, it looks more and more like they are attempting to abandon. Are they going to abandon one of the altars? They're going to try and push the bot lane? Because there's always this argument to be made that in the early stages, it doesn't really matter if you're missing out on an altar or two. It's more important that you get an experience lead so that you can actually rock the later stage of the game and control the game with lead in talents or experience. But they are fighting for one of the altars, which means of course that they are abandoning some of the experience at the bot lane. Falset is not with them. Don't have that chance. Good jump from Graphene. Really well done. There's a reason why they go for Muradin as their first hero usually. Jason is actually channeled out. That's not really good for them. Yeah, Cloud9 is playing a very solid game here. They're still soaking experience. They have level 4 already. And we are seeing the Vikings with a different style now. Jason again can cancel out on the channel. So Cloud9 is starting to really run the show here. They're trying to push the altar back, and as long as this lasts, the better for them, because they're still soak in the mid lane, they're still soak at the bot lane, and you can really tell how Cloud9 is already getting a level lead over the opponent. Yeah, there's once again Dream trying to go for the channel. And he gets it through. The kill maybe even against Tyrande. It's going to be so close. Yes, all down, but Tyrande dying as well. Caffeine jumped into deep. He dies. That's a double kill now, and the rest of the team is already moving away. Arthalon has to be careful with Olaf. They get at least this channel through, so it's even points on the core, 36 versus 36. But if you look at the experience, then it's an entire level lead that we are seeing at this point. Cladeus is extremely low, and I could actually see Eric trying to go for a bit of a kill here if he sees that again. Yeah, but in this case he doesn't want to overextend. Losing the Vikings would be a bit of a problem. Yeah, here comes Big Impact, and Arthalon moves away. But there's one of the things that I really wanted to explain as well. Mercenary Lord is an incredibly strong talent on this map. The reason is actually simple, as Balog dies in the middle here. If you go for a camp and you have a Viking around for Mercenary Lord, we of course, Zul taken down at the bot lane here. So him already eliminated. 6.5 versus 6.5 in talents, but Arthalon is going to soak this wave. This is going to help. Still a bit of a commitment here in the middle. And the kill against Li Ming. Great play. Cloud9 with a very nice move. But before we can look at the talents again, let's talk about that Mercenary Lord for a second. Mercenary Lord is so strong here because these camps are, of course, suicide camps, right? So they are trying to push the wave back, and once that the waves are gone, they suicide into the opponent's structures. And Mercenary Lord is increasing that damage. It's not only increasing the push damage against minions and anything else, it's also increasing the suicide damage. So with those, look at this. They are taking this down easy. And at this point, like, those three actually took down a tower, the gate, and nearly the second tower as well. It's half the damage with only one of them. So it's absolutely insane how much damage you do with that. So Mercenary Lord on this map is incredibly strong. And that is something that we are going to see them try to do a little bit more often during this game. Still the soak going on, the 4-man roam at the same time now, of course, as well. Spin to win on level 7, and we have also the Splintered Spear now taken for Lunara, who's going to try and take that poison damage in against everybody. At the top lane, Vala is still soaking EXP, and she went indeed for that hybrid build with Manticore on level 4 and the Searing Arrows or Searing Attack on level 7. So going for that extra damage. And talking damage, this is also what we're seeing with Calamity taken now for Li Ming with the dominance that we have. Takedown, focus build so far. Nice move actually by K1 Pro. Well, in this case, he's able to jump out. He got hooked at that point. Did he get hooked? I think he got hooked. It was actually a nice move by him. It was a bit of a bad move by Stitches, hooking the target that was stunned. He could have tried to blow it up, but I guess he was afraid that they would move away. Now there's another hook. We have one Altar on the map, and that of course means again experience soaked at the top lane, where Arthalon is currently busy. We're seeing down here Claudeus and you still in position, and level 7 versus level talent allows an even fight, but we have the level lead for now still in favor of Cloud9, and Vala is now joining the battle. She was actually moving into the middle to try and get a few of these minions. Once again, we're having them in a situation there. Well, at this point, we have... Oh, there's Caffeine once again. Blaze is doing decent work here against iDream, but he gets healed again. That's a cool thing about Drunk Dare's positioning here, actually. That he's the entire time making sure that he's getting his boys up to full health, and there's the kill against Vala. Very well played. So yeah, really well done here. We have currently at the same time also another lockdown against Caffeine. And the hook by the kid once again. They're really falling behind. That setup that we are seeing is incredibly strong for Cloud9. The problem that of course also exists now for Team Blaze is that first of all, they banned out Falstad, which is a great hero if you're trying to counteract the Vikings. And then Cloud9 reacted with a ban on Zeratul, which can of course also capitalize on the Vikings being around with the Gathering Power build that we've seen Blaze use earlier. And Blaze has shown some incredible drafts in incredible games today. Play again is being used. We're seeing Haymaker. We have also the Stim Drone, Thornwood Mines, and we have at the same time Sundering now. So for Blaze, it's really important that they get level 10. And they have to try and stay on the same experience, at least towards the later stage of the game when it's not going to matter as much anymore. Especially after 20, of course, we are in a situation where it's not going to be as incredibly important that you are going to, soak on 3 lanes. And Li Ming has been taken out at the bot lane here, apparently. Looks like Li Ming was taken down. Olaf at the top, on the other hand, has also been eliminated right now. And that's actually a pretty big move because there's nobody else on that lane. And that actually triggers now the rotation on the side of at least, well, Belloc, because he's trying to take the experience over. But we have still, when it comes to the cores, 32 versus 36 points on the core. And things are actually starting to look a little bit grim for Team Blaze, if they are not able to get some kills in. Because even though they have now level 10, they are suffering the loss of the bell tower at the bot lane, or at least it looks like, yes, there it is, because again Mercenary Lord is coming into play. The talents are really working out well for them. I really like, on the other hand, how the team fight setup is currently looking on the side of Blaze. We have them with Strafe, and I suppose that in this case Strafe can give you a lot of value. Personally, I'm still a bit of a fan of Reign of Vengeance, because it can just give you an amazing lockdown against opponents, and you can also, of course, like capitalize on something like a Bone Prison setup if you do just burst away one target. But Strafe is keeping Vala a bit safer in the back. But we have a bit of stun then later on. And right now stun could be Sundering, it could also be Muradin lock that down, and Olaf is probably going to go into the level 16 stun as well, which is going to be another big problem too. So right now, we have, in this case, at the top lane, still Vala starting to push this back, and Jason is still doing solid damage here. I mean, we're still Jason in a situation where he could at least go through the structures, but now we have another set of shots fired against the red team's core. So Claudeus is also a bit out of position there. Cloud9 with a great rotation, and they have their 4 heroes in the middle. They take down Zul. 6 kills against 3 here already. And with the level 13 talents, of course, they have a very significant lead. Blaze had to commit a lot of time to take down the bell tower at the bot lane, and they still haven't managed to do that completely. They will soon, but they saw the rotation coming their way, so they have to play it kind of safe. Arthalon is juking the hook right now. Unfair advantage taken on 13. And you can actually tell that for now, Thrall and also Morales are waiting a bit with the talents that they're going to take here. Spell Shield has been claimed. It's a talent that we could also see for Morales. Dunk Train so far didn't really see any need to go into massively defensive talents. We've seen him on with the Infused Grenade on level 4, and we are also seeing a cleanse right now for him. His positioning so far was actually like top-notch, but against especially Li Ming and also the Strafe and everything else is being brought to the table now by Blaze, he decides to go to a Spell Shield as well. So a very defensive setup for them. Another camp taken, and once again Mercenary Lord is going to come into play. Jason is going to try and take those down as fast as he can, and he has a level 13 talent right now, so he has to deal with those. He can't rotate away now. After Calamity on level 7, we are seeing Li Ming going straight into the Illusionist as a level 13 talent, and Ratma's Blessing is followed by the Corpse Explosion. Currently at the bot lane, there's a bit of a fight going on over another bell tower though, and Caffeine has to jump out. B-Kid is zoning for the rest of his team, using also now his own heroic ability to make sure that another camp is not going to be able to break through to the bell tower. They have pressure on all lanes, and Arthalon is actually playing an incredibly great game on the Vikings at this point. We're seeing the overflowing light being used for Vala. We have, for Tyrande. Vala went into the frost shot, and this is really just like going more and more into the team fight setup. This is really like the one chance that in this case Blaze has. They want to have team fights. They want to have fights where they can really just synergize their talents and can make sure that they have this going on. But already, Vladeus, yeah, this time maybe the lockdown against iDream. Can they get the kill here? Here comes that. Oh, a playmaker being used by Caffeine. He's trying to go for Tyrande, but they have to jump out. They didn't capitalize on that situation. Here comes the strafe and the kill against Thrall. Nice. So they get an exchange, 1-for-1, nearly taking Caffeine down as well. And Li Ming is currently creating a lot of space for the team, and Yu, therefore, is going to get the channel through. Well played by Blaze. Really nice setup here for them. Getting these kills was important, but they're down one talent again as 16 starts to hit now for Team Cloud9. And that is as predicted. Large and in charge has been taken, so that stun is going to be dangerous in the later fights when play to win or play again is going to be used. Then it's going to be very tricky for Vala to get the full strafe through, since we have still a couple of interrupts that can be addressed there. We're also seeing on 13, by the way, now the extra damage. So you have in this case, with a Hunker burning Olaf, you have a situation where there's a lot of lane pressure as well, just to the fact that we have a burning rage on one of the Vikings. The level 16 talent is going to be a big deal as well for Team Blaze, of course, now too. Because they get like very, very strong talents. With the Executioner, Vala is going to have so much single target damage. It's going to be amazing for her. And we're going to see even more slow from Stitches, which is, of course, going to help with that talent as well. Now, once again, Playmaker being used. They're trying to go for Cladeus, and there's the lockdown and the kill. Zul is not having the best time. He has his 4th kill against him, but Vala gets Olaf at the top lane, which is going to limit the experience soak that they're getting out of the Vikings, and is also starting to really turn down or tune down the hit points on that bell tower. So Jason, if given a bit of time, is definitely going to claim it for this team, but it also forces during the entire time a 4 versus 4.5 situation down here. Again, a camp chosen, and the bell tower is lost once more. Look at that siege damage on the Vikings, by the way. 93,000. Really, really impressive here. But then again, when we're looking at damage, Lunaro with 32k is not looking too shabby either. But 29,000 for Vala is, of course, once again showcasing how strong that hybrid build is that is currently being played here. When you look at the experience, the Vikings at this point with 26,000 EXP for the team. And they've been split on all 3 lanes for the entire game. The only one that is like halfway able to compete with that is, well, not even to compete, but like has still the most experience for the team in red is in this case actually Vala, who has been mostly at the top lane to get that experience. So right now we have another altar on the map, and this is actually at the bot lane. 23 against 32, currently the pit points on the core here. We have level 16 right now also for Blaze, and that brings us into Diamond Skin. We're having at the same time Executioner plus the Pulverize. There's also now the Skeleton Mastery, and that's a chance now in this fight. Vala can dish out the damage, and she has amazing damage here. But Gadeus is dying again, and that turns it into a very unfortunate situation. But the kill against at least Thrall. Vala, she can't die here. If she dies, then most of the damage is gone, and yes, she's down. Now it's up to Li Ming to maybe turn it around, but it's not going to be easy, especially with Dung Train still going for the heals like a maniac. He's doing an incredible job at that, and keep in mind that the top lane is still being pressured. Arthalon is there, and now we have nearly a 3-level lead. 19, Eric down, but Tyrande, is she gonna be wow, Tyrande actually able to escape, the poison not taking her down, and she is able to move back. That altar still hasn't been claimed yet, on the other hand, but the top lane is still pressured, and Arthalon is really starting to threaten another bell tower. It's, by the way, 5 bell towers against 3, so that's going to be a really big blow against Blaze if Cloud9 channels that through and Caffeine gets that finally in. So 5 more shots ahead and over, and this is dropping the core down to 18 hit points. Mid lane also being attacked here. Arthalon is on the move there in terms of damage potential. Look at how Vala, by the way, spiked. Even though she was mostly at the top lane, she was at 29k before the fight started. But now, with Executioner taken on 16 and all of the slow talents, not only for her but also for Stitches, we are seeing her already at 38,000. The only one who is able to match that is actually Lunara on the side of Cloud9. And she is dishing out all of that extra poison damage, of course. So that is incredibly powerful now as well. Once again, we're seeing a very strong game here from both of the teams, but the setup and the draft that has been started here for Cloud9 is definitely giving them a bit of an advantage. I mean, no doubt about that. The Vikings on this map are absolutely incredibly strong, and they are showing exactly why that is. They will hit level 20 soon, and probably before the next altar is on the map. Oh, B-Kids needs to be careful. Lockdown once. Caffeine is there. Haymaker, Spladeus away, and Jason is also zoned out. They're trying to go for Stitches. Stitches is still alive, though. And that was the Sundering that was committed by iDream, but they can't get the kill. B-Kid might fall. He needs a heal. Where is that? There we have it. All right. Heal committed, but that was a bit of a... that was actually like a lot... Oh, Vada. Damn it, Vada down and the kill against B-Kid. Maybe if iDream goes in and can lock him down, then he's gonna fall. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Nah, Stitches is dead. Stitches is dead, and K1 Pro is dishing out even more damage. They have by now on the Vikings the Fury of the Storm taken. We're seeing the Rewind, which definitely helped Mirrodin in the last battle, and the Galloping Gate, Caduceus Reactor, plus the Bolt of the Storm. Very well played here by Cloud9. I mean, that was a very tricky spot, and it was actually impressive that Stitches was able to keep himself alive. iDream thought that he could take down Stitches with the Sundering. That didn't really work out because Turan had really solid heals there, but still it ended up in a huge kill streak for Cloud9, and the blue team now with level 20 talents. 12 kills against 6. We have one altar on the map. At the top lane, Olaf is taken down. And of course, if Blaze hits 20, that is definitely going to help them a lot. Because then the Vikings are not going to be as crucial anymore for experience. Then the Vikings are going to be more about lane pressure. But with lane pressure, they are also struggling, since this is another 5 shots that are being fired against their core. We have 5 bell towers against 3, thanks to the one that was taken down to the bottom of the map. So right now, in the middle, like another push happening, and Arthalon is really starting to abandon the idea of running the Vikings on 3 lanes. They have the level 20 already. There's no real reason to do anything else. And whoa, Cladeus, look at that damage! You shouldn't keep the Vikings locked up together like that if Zul is starting to make his plays. 13 against 32 points on the core, but if there was ever a moment in this game where Team Blaze can start a comeback, it is when they hit level 20 and are on eye level with their opponent. That is happening right now. So if they're going to make their plays, then it's happening at this point. Can they go into these team fights and really run the show now? Bone Spear has been taken. They have the Temporal Flux on Li Ming. We're seeing also the Bolt of the Storm for Vala, who decided to not go into the Nexus Frenzy, which would of course have increased the damage output even more. But safety is the first priority for Vala. She is an incredibly important hero for the setup. Oh, nice move, by the way. Li Ming gets away with the teleport for now. Stitches, of course, with a hardened shield. Another quick setup here to give you guys a bit of an idea of what the damage currently looks like. 66,000 already against heroes from Lunara. 170,000 siege damage from the Vikings against 120,000 on Zul. And we have, in the terms of heals, 44,000 for Turanda, which isn't actually too bad. But of course, you can't keep up with Morales. 100,000 heals on Dunk Train. Too much. And Cladeus is gonna die for the 6th time now, isn't he? Yeah, he's focused. He's falling. Vikings are also dying, and that is the reset that Li Ming needs to maybe jump in again and get a kill in. K1 Pro is trying to hop away, but even with a Galloping Gate, this is proving to be difficult. But Dung Train to the rescue. He's there, helping out, and now we have a triple altar. And if all 3 of them are channeled, then only the boss is missing to conclude this first game in favor of Team Cloud9. Arthalon at the bot lane is going for the first channel. He's going for the channel over here as well. They're fighting for the 3rd. That's already 8 points on the core, and they are probably going to get this one as well, aren't they? Yep, there's the attack towards the right. 1 shots, 2 shots, 4 missing. Over here, the kill potentially against Tyrande. Not quite yet, but everybody is so low that it's very unlikely that they can hold this long enough. Shadowstalk has been used once again. The Vikings are still starting to push the lane. 22 versus 20 is the levels that we are seeing here. And over here up to the top, nice, another space created. And this is another 4 shots fired against the core. And now it's down to 1 single hit point. And that means anything, any camp that you can get through, any like boss that you take, any altar that you're going to channel later on is going to be the conclusion of the game. And of course, if there is another like 3 alt, like this is more or less already GG at this point, because if there is another triple altar event happening, and it will happen, then Arthalon is just going to spread the Vikings again. And how do you react to that without a false stat, without a bright wing, without the mobility on the map that they need? K1 Pro, alright, just like goes through the tunnel and suddenly appears in the middle of like 4 heroes, is able to escape though. Zul is haymakered up to the top again, but this time King Caffeine has no follow-up ready. And they're trying to go for a few of these spell towers, which is cool, that doesn't really do too much because, well, let's face it, all that you need is one altar, and this has to be dealt with. Because this is probably going to be an exchange in bell towers right now if nobody takes care of it. Big fight on the other hand here in the middle. Oh, Jason gets healed. Nice job by Tyrande, keeping them alive here. 22 versus 21 at this point. Already the push up at the top lane, and goodbye bell tower. Arthelon, well, actually, Gladius is in now. He can deal with this. He's going to take Eric down first, already locking him down, but the bell tower is lost either way. So in this case, he's trying to just like push this back, but the bell tower is lost. It's a 4 versus 4 again. We're seeing the pressure play in the middle. Still, if they get a team fighter, they can wipe everyone, then maybe they have a chance to come back somehow. I doubt it. Arthelon is already pushing the bot lane as well. Like, he's not stopping, he's splitting, he's everywhere. And Blaze is starting to really... I mean, it's a bit of a desperate situation. They are trying to somehow go through and get, like, another kill maybe. And there's a nice lockdown. This is exactly what they need. But Duntrain with these heals, it's insane. The healing power on Morales, if not attacked, is just out of this world. Now we have even the stim drone being used. And this is just K1 Pro hopping in. Can use the Galloping Gate as well if need be. Already the Splintered Spear being put to some use. Jason with the immediate solid moves there, but guess what? It's a triple altar event on the map, and in another 9 seconds this game is going to be over. Already the Vikings are being spread towards the altars. The fight is still ongoing, and now the channel starts, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be it. Arthelon is starting the channel at the top left, at the top right, and well, Vala is making her way over, but it's already too late. 2-3 heroes down, and a massive barrage is finishing the game. Job well done. Cloud9 with the 1-0 lead in the best of 5 series here at the end of the Storm Finals.
Blue team is victorious.
Game number 2. We are still in the best of 5 series between Cloud9 and Blaze, and currently C9 is in the lead after that first game on House of Doom. Vikings pretty strong, especially of course with Mercenary Lords having such a huge impact on it. For now though, we have Zul banned out as the first thing that Cloud9 does. And Blaze, well, they have to really think a little bit about Muradin, I suppose. We've seen them before ban out Muradin against Cloud9, since Cloud9 just has such a massive focus on the hero. But in this case right now, they're actually waiting quite a bit. I mean, there's a couple of things that you can ban out, of course. You can ban out a Falstad, you can ban out the Thrall, you can go for a ban, I don't know, against Li Ming. But if you ban Muradin, then even Zeratul can be banned out, which we have actually seen several times. But right now, this is one of the things that they need to think about. And it looks like it's going to be that Falstad, so they are allowing Muradin instead. Yeah, Cloud9, I mean, they have always picked Muradin. Are they actually changing it up? Are we actually seeing them with something else but the Dwarf? Looks like that could be the case. Vikings again confirmed. Vikings are actually pretty good on the Infernal Shrines as well. Just saying. And Falstad is banned out, but I'm pretty sure if they commit to an early Viking that this time Blaze is going to go for a Zeratul. And I did really not expect them to go for it. Muradin, it is, of course. What else would you go for? It is Cloud9 after all, and King Caffeine wants his plaything. Which is actually putting weird pictures in my head now that I just called Muradin the King Caffeine's plaything. So yeah, that thought is going to haunt me for some time. Blaze right now though, they can start things off with maybe Li Ming again if they really want to. Oftentimes we see still Thrall. I'm actually thinking if they are going for an ETC setup. Thrall ETC has been played a couple of times by them now, and I actually would like that too. So ETC is already something that they're showing here. The question is, are they committing to it? Thrall ETC would be great. You could go ETC Li Ming as well. But if you want to have a combo, then going for that Thrall might not be the worst case. Because Cloud9 is most likely going to take Thrall if they get a chance to. At least they've been playing with the hero a lot during the tournament. They played him in the last game as well for I Dream. And he is really powerful, and it would be another interrupt against ETC too. So I believe that right now Blaze would probably do really well going into Thrall. Limiting the options for Cloud9 to stun out the Mosh Pit. Tyrande aggression works as well, I suppose. I mean, yeah, Tyrande would work for you too. Okay, so I understand the Tyrande. Okay, that's a good point. You can play you can get the Tyrande. You can try to run the lockdown at the beginning. I still believe that this is a very good chance for Cloud9 to pick Thrall now. But the Tyrande together with ETC is also a very sweet combo. It's a bit of a different focus here. But Tyrande could have also been picked by Cloud9. And having Muradin Tyrande against you, especially when you're playing an ETC, is about as annoying as having to deal with that Thrall. So yeah, that's also a sweet setup that Blaze goes for right now. So for Cloud9, the question, Thrall, yes, no. And, well, if they go for Thrall, are they going to also add Rhaegar to that mix right now? Or are they going to head straight into that Li Ming that we still have not locked down yet? And there's actually a couple of really good heroes that he could still take. I mean, we're also talking about a Zeratul, for example. But I would actually think that right now, Rhaegar Thrall would be great, having the Orc brothers united again. But to be quite honest, I'm not sure if Cloud9 is going to go for Rhaegar. I mean, most of the teams we have seen that, and I think they're going to switch it up because Cloud9 has shown a variety of healer, and I actually believe that this is going to happen here as well. Tassadar has been chosen, can still be played with Rhaegar, especially if you're, of course, going to try and play with the melee assassin, but Tassadar as a support is already a great start for them, and they can on the last pick then adapt to whatever they want to do. There's no need for them to commit to a double heal now, not even on the... Yeah, if anything, then on the last pick. Trying to wait out what Blaze is going to do then. But we have no damage for them. Oh. Yeah, Zeratul would probably be banned, so they say we want him. That allows bans on, or bans and picks on Li Ming, Greymane. It's actually like a really interesting draft with an early commitment to ETC and also Zeratul here. This is a really interesting setup that we're currently seeing here. So Vala has been chosen as a potential ban here. I mean, Zeratul with... We already know that Void Prison as a setup for Reign of Vengeance is absolutely deadly. So if you play that and have then the bubble wipe, then it's oftentimes a disaster for the opponent's team if the Void Prison is good. And that is, of course, what they are afraid of right now. Another hero that could be taken is Jaina. I actually think that Blaze is going to pick Jaina here. I think they want Jaina. And it's a question of whether Cloud9 allows her or not. But we have actually Thrall in this case banned out. And with Thrall being banned right now, well, I guess they're going to switch, or like they're going to think about Thrall and Jaina. Thrall is being banned, alright, so you don't get the entire combo with Sun Ring into Mosh Pit with Tyrande Stun, ETC, Power Slide. But I still believe that Blaze is now going to say, okay, listen up, boys, we are going to get Jaina here. Because if they don't, then Cloud9 can go for Zeratul Jaina, which is Void Prison, into the Kappa. Actually, like on this map, Infernal Shrines, you could play Cho'Gall. That being said, though, if they don't go for Jaina, Cloud9 is going to pick Jaina, and then we have Void Prison into Ring of Frost, into also the immediate Blizzard, and that is a deadly combo. As we've seen several times during this tournament already, you can blow an entire team up if you get a good Void Prism off. Blaze is, in terms of damage, heading into... Greymane wouldn't be bad, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's so much damage still available. Greymane, Li Ming, but I really feel that if you don't take Jaina, the threat of Jaina being played by the opponent is just a bit too strong. So that is one of the things that I'm a little bit afraid of. Brightwing together with the Tyrande would actually work for them. Then they can play ETC as a solo tank. ETC, I feel, is a bit dependent on how many supports you run. If you have a double support, that works. Brightwing, Taken, and Tyrande. And I really want to see Cloud9 go for Jaina now. I really want to see it. They can pick the Jaina, and then they can make that choice of additional damage or a second support. And Jaina would allow them, again, Void Prison into Ring of Frost, into Blizzard. If they want to go for that bubble wipe scenario, then they can definitely pull that off. It's one of the things that works. Another interrupt hero might not be a bad idea either. It's fascinating to me that Li Ming hasn't been chosen yet. It's really fascinating to me. We might still see her, of course, for Blaze or Cloud9, but that Li Ming isn't in there yet is actually... This is kind of crazy. I mean, we are really deep in the draft already. Sonya for Cloud9, that would actually be too bad either. Sona Jaina with us. Oh my god, that would be so much damage. Nah, they play the double support. I'm a little bit disappointed. I was really hoping for that wombo combo potential. It was so much damage. It decided games. It decided more than one game already. But Zeratul with Sonya works, having the Tassadar there as well. And alright, so they go into a different setup. A double support for them it is. And with Uther, I mean, we've seen them on this map particular with Uther going into Holy Shock. So, yeah, that was actually pretty crazy as well. Very frontline heavy, though, if they really pull that through. And they do. So we have Uther, Sonya, Zeratul, Tassadar, and Muradin for them. Very melee heavy, very aggressive in that sense, that they can now really go deep with Zeratul and Sonya without having to be afraid of dying, because there's that Divine Shield, there's all that stuff that they can pull off. even though I could definitely see Uther go into the Divine Storm. He doesn't need to go into Divine Shield. And if you want to have another interrupt in these fights, especially when Greymane jumps in, then you can actually go for the Divine Storm. Stitches as the last pick for Blaze. That means that we actually have a game without Liming. If we have a game without Liming, boys and girls, Cloud9 is in the 1-0 lead in the best of 5, and we're going to go into game number 2 now on Infernal Shrines to find out which team is going to take the second game. Are we going to see a tie? Will Blaze win? Or is Cloud9 going to take a solid lead now with a 2-0 lead in this series? Game number 2 in the best of 5 series at the grand final of the Enter the Storm. North America has just started and we are on Infernal Shrines, the map choice of Team, you've guessed it already, of Team Blaze. So in this case right now we are seeing once again Caffeine on Mirrodin as so often, I Dream on Zeratul, Arthalon on Sonya, Dunk Train on Uther, and K1 Pro is playing Tacita. To the right side of the map, Blaze down 1 game in the best of 5 series, my bad. We have a big impact on Greymane. We have Jason on Tyrande, B-Kid on ETC, Gladius on Stitches, and you on Brightwing. The game is on, quite literally, and in terms of builds, we have a double block already. Well, there is a Greymane, there is also, of course, a bit of auto attack, but yeah, double block already taken on two of the frontliners here. Double Conjurer's Pursuit as well, so a little bit of different starting builds here from what we usually see. But we have at the same time still the cooldown reduction build for Tyrande with the Empower here, which is like the best heal build that you can actually get, since you are reducing the cooldown on not only your heal, but also, obviously, on the Shadow Storm. Push power down to the bottom of the map. We are currently seeing at the same time Stitches going into the Slam build, which you oftentimes actually have as a particular build on this map, since it's extremely powerful when you're trying to go for the additional minions on those shrines. We're having on level 1, again, the Hyper Shift, nothing really too crazy there, and the double support build that we have on both sides is actually quite sweet. Actually, in this case, it's double support versus solo support, my bad. No, it's not. It's double support versus double support, guys. Like, I'm hallucinating right now. This is getting a little bit out of hand. So we have a Tyrande Brightwing combo against Uther and Tacita. There we go. Took me a moment longer. My apologies for that. We're having currently B-Kid and Jason. It's just like a 4-man rotation that we have for both of the teams, more or less, because as you can already see, Dunk Train has kind of given up on that thought and is very much down there, very much alone. Nice color coordination, by the way, on Dunk Train with his Judgment Uther and also his mount here. Cloud9 rocking that Cloud9 mount, who would have thought? With the exception of Arthalon and King Caffeine here, well, passion lost already. That's the only thing that comes to mind when I see that. Already we're having level 3 versus level 3 in the first shrine announced. So the teams are going to start and try and go into level 4. If they get a kill, of course, that would be great. Even though it's a bit doubtful. This early in the game, you usually don't die unless you run straight into a rotation. And the shrine is active at the top lane. We still have a bit of a battle going on in the middle of the map, but Sonya has the opportunity, after the wave is cleared, to go for the shrine and get a lead in the minions for Cloud9. Level 4 has, on the other hand, already been accomplished, by now by both teams, by the way. Already, Power Slide talent still taken, Stitches with more Slam. Ooh, nice hook by Gladius here. I mean, trying to go for it, but I Dream already juked him out a little bit. First Punisher, as we've already said before, is not really like the biggest deal just yet. Master Warblade over the Warble Blades has been used right now, so basically his focused attack version that he has. And well, at this time we are having once again like a bit of zoning happening, since Gladius is being attacked here on Stitches, and they might be able to lock him down. Caffeine jumps in, body block, stuns, and goodbye Stitches. Stitches is down, and that experience lead that we now experience here is pretty solid. The problem that Cloud9 has is that Sonya died at the top lane. Right now we had still, on both sides, one hero die, and Cloud9 has to rotate now up to the top. Brightwing, by the way, is now starting to slowly move on over as well. We're having even more shields now chosen. Uther decides to go into the Productive Shield on level 4, so we have Tacita shields and Uther shields. Nice dimensional shift, that works. They're trying to go for the counter kill. Yeah, but Zeratul is still at the bot lane. 3 against 2 minion stacks. Teams are really starting to value experience higher than the first Punisher, and I totally understand why. I mean, at this point, we're having a situation where the first Punisher oftentimes ends up only doing, like, yeah, damage to 1 tower, maybe 2. Ho Dream! Oh, well, usually you blink to the side of a hook. He blinks the length of the hook and is able to make it work. Yeah, Stitch is now being attacked again, and the body blocks are once more happening, and the slow, of course, too. So again, Gladius is down. There's the kill. And that's the second death on Stitches, with the team at the top lane still trying to aim for the minion stacks. Jason and the kid have to move away now, and Caffeine and his boys are actually starting to take these stacks as well, or at least control over the position here. Level 7 will be faster in for them, but they won't really be able to capitalize on that too much, because we have now on both sides level 7, at least any moment. There it is. First aid taken. This is actually pretty interesting to see that we're having a Zeratul with first aid, considering that he has a double support on his hands. So he really wants to survive. And a nice kill against Grammy now. Cloud9 is actually playing very aggressive here once again. And Sonya is still not with the team, by the way. She's at the bot lane pushing with a camp. This is going to be massive damage. Someone has to go down there and finally do something about it, because they're already nearly a level ahead. And at the top lane, it's a 4 versus 4 fight because, well, Greymane isn't there yet. So Cloud9 can actually play on eye level there with their opponents. Great jump by Caffeine. My god, the reaction here. Well played by him. Really well done. Another camp is about to be taken by Arthelon. Bot lane is currently being pressured. And now that we are having... we are in a situation where Blaze doesn't see Sonya anymore. Blaze doesn't see Sonya, and that's an issue, because they are thinking that Sonya comes top lane. And Sonya is not doing that at all. She's just taking another camp. So the bot lane is going to be pressured, and we are going to see a bit of pressure in the mid lane. We have Zeratul rotating over as well. Brightwing is taking position here, is immediately being attacked, and they're just pushing structures the entire time. The bot lane is still pushing this in as well. And in the mid lane, we're seeing the same thing. Look at that level that we're having. Level 9 versus level 8. And yes, of course, that Arcane Punisher is now being taken by Team Blaze. But as we've already seen before, if you play it right and bait the Punisher in, if you stand behind the gate and wait for the Punisher to jump over it, then you should be able to burst it down fast enough. And that's what they're currently trying to do. So they're going for the bait, Punisher goes in, and now it's going to be an easy defense. And the bot lane has suffered a lot of damage, 9.5. They're going to hit at a very early level 10. And we're still seeing Zeratul move around, whereas everybody on the side of Team Blaze has now to defend against the Khaldor camps. And there's another big factor with this. We're talking experience, we're talking about like lane presence and structural advantages with all of those towers already taken down at the bot and the mid lane. Keep in mind that these camps were taken away as well. So there's no chance for Team Blaze to go in for the camps right now, take them, and get some counter push going. So when it comes to map control and running a show, Cloud9 is playing a strong game here right now. And that forces, at this point, a bit of a defensive position out of Team Blaze, who have to be very careful that they are not caught on the map now against level 10, because we are seeing that Void Prison. And yeah, that's exactly it. Void Prison is there. Uther gets in position for a stun, and they want it. They're going straight for, again, Tyrande. The stun is there, but Jason is down, and now they want to go for Greymane. Greymane low, but might escape here. Nice moves. Good escapes here. Nice escape by Greymane, so gets away. There's still more pressure. Haymaker used, and of course they are also starting to use that advantage to take even more camps away from their opponent. And they're finding, in this case, with a Haymaker, again Greymane, and this time iDream is there for the kill. Cloud9, 5 kills against 1. They take the camp away, and of course Blaze is desperately trying to get experience. And they will get level 10. They will get level 10, and that is going to help them with the next potential shrine that we are going to see on the map. But still, that level 13 is of course going to be the next big goal for Cloud9, and so far they're playing strong. They make an adjustment, by the way, Blaze that is, with their heroic abilities. No blink heal for Brightwing. Tyrande is going to be enough for that. Brightwing instead with the Emerald Wind, which is going to make it a bit easier for them to disengage after, let's say, a Void Prison setup, for example. So that is going to be a big part now as well. We're having, again, another shrine opening up on the map, and Cloud9 is currently already in the lead in the best of 3 series here. Another thing that definitely has to be kept in mind. We're seeing again a move. This time, actually, it's Tacita, but a good stun. Oh my god, the Haymaker through the wall. It's like Caffeine is playing billiard here. He's... that force wall, alright. And keep it, I mean, he's just zipping around, trying to somehow survive, but that's not going to happen. And iDream actually wants now the kill against Jason. Emerald Wind had to be committed to. Wow. Cloud9 at this point is really, really rocking this. I mean, they are completely dictating what's happening in this game. They are dictating every single move of Blaze right now. And Blaze is struggling against this. Again, they're about to lose a hero, but a good hook. Not good enough though. Down goes Greymane, and we have 7 kills against 1 right now. Incredibly well played. They go for the objective once again. And let's see how Blaze is going to try and handle this. Sonya, by the way, was doing all of this up at the top lane, taking another camp that is now starting to push against the fort here. So it's also a bit of a play with time. Greymane might have to rotate over. Maybe with the level 10s we're going to see now a play from Blaze. If they can get a good mosh pit through, that it could be the winning condition for them here to come back into this. Greymane is going actually towards the shrine. They want to get another Punisher. This is Punisher number 2 that is currently on the line here. And level 13 is about to be ready for Cloud9. They are trying to get it by bursting down the lane down here as well. And once again, the commitment, they go for Stitches. Shadowstalk already used. Sonya is in a bit of trouble, needs to be careful. Kafine is actually still on point as Arthalon is attempting to get away. Divine Shield for him, but here comes B-Kid and the kill against Muradin and the nice lockdown. There we go. This is the team Blaze that we've been seeing against Naventic. They get the double kill. Level 13, they're still behind, but that's the triple kill for them, and that's also going to be another Punisher. And this time they can actually push with it because it is still a 5 versus 3 on the map. Sonya had to move out, and she had the Divine Shield. Then ETC moves in, gets a great mosh pit off, and that's, of course, a very, very nice situation now on the side of Team Blaze. They can start to make their way back into this, and they immediately rotated heroes away. Bam! Brightwing in the mid lane. Path to the top lane. Gladius, here we have him. Gladius in a situation where, you know, can get the XP for them. 13 versus 13. And all of a sudden, the entire momentum and the entire dominance that we saw from Cloud9 is gone. They can still, of course, like try to make these plays happen, but they don't have the advantage anymore. Good Haymaker, but Greymane is one of the best heroes with the escape. They maybe it would have been better to try and go for Jason here. The problem is that against a good Greymane, you have Dark Flight against you. There's also, I mean, like every single talent that he has basically allows him to go for potential escape. So it would pay off to maybe focus a bit more on Tyrande in these fights. In this case, feel like the only hero that he could actually reach was Greymane. And the cool thing about like Haymakers, of course, that thing is on a 40-second cooldown. So you can just like jump in and hammer that out whenever you want to. And if you do that, then you will have it back in the next fight anyways. It's good damage on top of all of that as well. And talking damage, we haven't really talked about that yet. So let's have a quick look at it. We've seen 16,000 damage actually on Tyrande. Top damage player. 16,000 also on Zeratul, so both of them having the most hero damage in this case. Tyrande is not really a hero that you usually associate with the most hero damage, especially not if you have a Greymane in the same game. But in this case, it's actually happening. Sonya on 9k has actually done a lot more when it comes to lane presence, experience soak, and everything. Talking experience soak, I mean, it's usually not really a stat that makes too much sense unless we have someone who's always on the off lane. But look at the experience soak that we had here for Brightwing, for example. Really making sure that Brightwing is getting value as a pick, and that helps. Sonya, by the way, in a very similar situation because she's always rotated to the off lane, trying to make sure that they're getting extra experience soak from them. 15 versus 15 now. And this is now a situation where we could see both of the teams with level 16 once the next shrine is going to be fought over. We have already Mystical Spear. Wormhole has been taken as well, and we see Shrink Ray, which is going to be used against Zeratul or Sonya, no matter, well, like one of the two. Yeah, Haymaker. Oh, Daydream, they want it. They really want it. And the setup. And Emerald Wind is too late. Emerald Wind is too late. Where are the stuns? Oh my god, there we go. Get a kill against Greymane. ETC with a mosh pit. Can they kill Sonya? Where's the Divine Shield? Not used yet. Isn't cooldown actually. Isn't cooldown, my bad. Here comes the Haymaker. They still want that camp, and they get ETC first, and then they can still take it. iDream has been jumping in as well. It's a double kill for Cloud9 again. Haven't really commented too much on the Divine Shield yet. It's of course a great tool for them. They did not go into the Divine Storm, which we have seen over the course of the tournament, but in this case, kind of made sense for them. Stunned by Jason against iDream. Yeah, he wants to be dangerous, and he has a very nice damage output already. As you can see, we have Dunkrain and Arthalon already on the shrine, so they are going for the Punisher. This is Punisher number 3, and these boys are starting to do a little bit more work, so in this case they are saying, hey, totally worth it to commit a little bit more to it now. Level 16 talents are helping them as well, and Brightwing is actually being attacked again. Haymaker, and that should actually seal the deal. Polymorph is nice, but if not for another Emerald Wind. Oh, in 2 seconds they're going to have it. In 2 seconds we're going to have an Emerald Wind, but it's too late. Yeah, Emerald Wind is on a 9-second cooldown, wasn't completely cast through. We have, on the other hand, up at the top lane, wow, oh my god, like Blaze just came back into it, but now they are getting wrecked here. Or do they? 3 versus 3 still, and yes, now that we have big impact down on Greymane as well, they are going to lose everyone. B-Kid might be the only one who's able to escape. It's a quad kill already. And, I mean, it couldn't be any worse. They have the level 16 talent. They just came back after that nice attack down to the bottom shrine. But now the situation is completely different. I mean, at this point, we're really looking at a setup where they can simply go for that fort. They didn't even have to go into the mid lane here. They could have taken that fort down with just the heroes that they had, as they were in the 5 versus 1 situation. But they are letting the Punisher do half the job. They went in the mid lane, got a bit of experience. They are now 1 level ahead, even a bit more than that. And right now, they just start rocking it with the Punisher. It's a Mortar Punisher, so they are starting to go straight in with it. We're having, in terms of like talents on level 16 for Blaze, by the way, now also Ranger taken for a bit more damage on Toranda. We're also seeing on level 16, finally Pulverize, Slow, and also Greater Polymorph, very important for them. But the question is, can they keep that keep alive? And it should actually work. It's still an early Punisher if you think about it. It's the 3rd one, but they're starting to move in already. This is the chance to maybe win the fight again. iDream is already low. iDream is very low. He is jumping out, no Divine Shield. Uther saying like, dude, I don't like you in the first place. I'm not getting a Divine Shield as is. Maybe later, because that's reserved for Sonya. And she goes in. They're trying to go for Stitches. Good stun. Haymaker already used. Void Prison, not yet. Could still be committed. Yeah, there it is. Void Prison used, but down goes Sonya. Yes, Grayman was the only one that didn't have it, and he is trying to go for K1 Pro. Already with a shift, trying to move away here. 4 versus 5 as we speak. The keep has not been destroyed, but they went through the wall at least. Blaze isn't out yet. They are still in this. It is a struggle, no doubt about it, but they are still in the game. We have 13 kills against 5, and when we're looking at the damage output, we have once again Stitches with the top damage here. 40,000, slam build OP. We're already seeing hero damage and also siege damage for Sonya, skyrocketing here. So we have them here with 30,000 and 60,000. But the push in the mid lane right now with Sonya down, they know that there's no chance for Cloud9 to really commit to that fight yet. Uh-oh! Yeah, well, that is not supposed to happen. If you're up against the Greater Polymorph, then you have to be careful. That was a very good snipe. You see a chance, you use it. And once again, we're seeing a team in that vicious circle where you're always 1 hero down. Just as Sonya was about to come back into the game, Tassadar dies and he is down for another 35 seconds. Great play by Blaze now with the turnaround attempt, but we have still that lead in experience for Cloud9. And Cloud9 is not only leading experience, they are leading in games. They have the first game in this grand final locked down, and that of course means that if they win here, that would be the 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series, in the grand final. And that means that it's going to be 3 maps, and every single one of them has to be won by a Blaze if they want to crown themselves the champion of the Enter the Storm North America Season 2. Already, most of the forts are down. The only one surviving is the one at the top, and this is going to be the struggle for level 20. Both of the teams are going to try and do that. The advantage that we saw from Blaze by that kill against Sasta and Sonya has now been translated into camps that have been taken. So they're taking all of the camps on the map away, as many as they can, and are trying to just like get some lane pressure against Cloud9 so that they have more time getting experience, catching up in EXP, closing that gap. But Stitches, Gladius, yeah, okay, he moves back just barely enough. Caffeine was thinking about stunning, jumping, and haymakering him into the rest of his team. That didn't work, so they're still trying to go for the 20 instead. And Arthalon is starting to make his way down to the bottom of the map, but already 20 of those minions have been committed. They need level 20, they want to get it here. They're not getting it just yet, so Sonya needs to move into the mid lane and starts to get another wave, but 30 gems, they are going to lose it. They're going to lose the, they're going to lose that thing. That Punisher. Once again, Haymaker into Void Prison. Haymaker into Void Prison. Punisher is there on already Putrid Bile committed. A triple rewind. They're going for Jason. There is still Dunk Train. He has not committed the Divine Shield yet. Didn't see a need to. They're going for Jason. Jason, Shrink Ray, and their kill. Not quite. Dream tries to get him and gets him finally. Tyrande is down. K1 Pro. I don't think he needs a Divine Shield here, but they have that Punisher moving through the bot lane, but they need more than 1 kill. They're going for the second one against Gladius. Once again, Stormbolt, and this time they're finished. There we go. Spear by Arthalon. Blaze has gotten the Punisher, but they got destroyed there. And now, of course, they're trying to de-push the bot lane. And that is an important move now. The bot lane de-push, that is actually what they have to aim for. and it's going to most likely result in level 20 being soaked in the meantime by Blaze, which is putting us into again a situation where both of these teams are on eye level and have the same amount of forts and keeps on the map. And well, in kills we might see a huge difference, but that doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the team fights then from here on out. And so far, we've actually seen Team Blaze in the team fights doing quite solid work, especially, of course, with the level 20 that they all, with the mosh pit that they had. And level 20 on ETC is now also the Bolt of the Storm. So that's a bit of an easier setup for him to go into one of these mosh pits. The Hunter's Blunderbuss has now been taken as well. We're seeing a Bolt of the Storm also on Stitches. And besides that, Stitches, by the way, the Bolt of the Storm, really interesting talent considering that we have, of course, also the Hardened Shield available to him. Brightwing went into the Revitalizing Mist. Butchering, okay, my pronunciation here, I'm sorry for that, but yeah. We have Tyrande with the Hunter's Swiftness. Okay, so the stage is set, guys, for the next team fight. The stage is set. We're ready. Like, I'm ready. My body is ready. Let's go for it. Redemption taken. Triple rewind, as I already mentioned a little bit before. They're even having now that double shield on Tassadar, which of course can help to keep a target alive. Like, if you get a double shield on someone, that's pretty sweet. Get the first one in, it gets about you bust it, you can go for a rewind and use the next one as well. But everybody is getting ready for that next fight. This is going to be the important one. This is really where things are going to happen. Already the force wall, more to scare them off than anything else. There's the jump on Caffeine and the Storm Bolt to cover the retreat. Not really risking anything here. In terms of damage output, Stitches is still rocking the charts here, thanks to his slam build that he has. Nearly 100,000 siege damage, by the way, on Sonya. And we're starting to see that battle unfolding in front of us. Sonya is at the top lane, needed to depush. Sonya is still missing. It is a 5 versus 4, and Sonya is now finally making her way down. Needed to take down the Shaman first, or the Shaman would have gone to the 4 completely, spawning those ads. Still, here comes Caffeine. Oh, goes for the Haymaker, but the Polymorph is there. Polymorph was ready, another Shrine active up at the top, and they are going in again. Haymaker, by the way, did not end up on cooldown. It was the mini cooldown, got only interrupted. And, well, this is actually going to be pretty sweet. By the way, we have, like, towers still at the bot lane and in the middle, so 2 are available. So it's actually a slight lead that we have currently for Team Blaze. I actually thought earlier that we had them on exactly the same amount of structures, but nope. Doesn't really matter for the top lane too much. It's that one tower that we would see Team Blaze go through still. But once again, there we have it. Arthalon is already on the shrine, so they have a bit of a setup here where they can get more minions. It's also a bit of a death trap, of course, though. You have no real way to escape from that particular temple, but they are still trying to zone for Arthalon, who's getting all of that siege damage in. K1 Pro is trying to use his force wall to just zone opponents out, but they are starting to fight here, and Uther is low. He has redemption, so he's not going overboard with anything like a Divine Shield. Isolation against Arthalon, he gets away. Divine Shield has not been used yet, doesn't need it yet. ETC was trying to go for a mosh pit, looked like it for a moment. Here comes the setup, in comes Uther. They're trying to go for the stuns maybe, and can they get it? No, there's the Tirana stun, misses everyone. Brightwing jumps in super low at this point, but Arthalon is on point, trying to take Brightwing down. Brightwing survives for now. They're going in again. Uther died, but there comes the redemption. But the mosh pit on the other hand. The Divine Shield saving Arthalon for now, and he interrupts the mosh pit in the last moment, but they took a lot of damage in the meantime. Again, they're going for ETC. This time it might be an opportunity. King Caffeine is low, and he is down. Caffeine taken out. A great sustained fight here by both of these teams, but the victor is Team Blaze. They are taking it. And it was incredibly well done here. It looked like Brightwing would fall several times, but Tyrande was there and immediately went for the heal. That was incredibly well done. Really nice moves here. So we are currently looking at Cloud9 versus Blaze now in a 15-8 kill situation. Level 21 versus level 21. And that is pretty incredible. Right now, Arthalon is going for a camp. He might actually lose that. Gladeus is already there, and I mean, that is quite optimistic. Uh-oh. Hook. Oh, alright, so they juke him out. They juke him out, and they will escape. Dream. Okay, he has the cooldown. He can blink, and he does. So they're starting to move once again. This is looking very solid for Blaze. Guys, like, Blaze is really rocking it. Against Naventic, they played a great game. Against Cloud9, they got slaughtered on map number 1, but still on map number 2, even though they were behind, they are playing a very incredible series here right now. And now with the Punisher, they can start to move in, and this is most likely going to cost Cloud9 a keep. I highly doubt that they're going to be able to really just go through for the core, unless, of course, they get their kills in. And Tacita, whoa, that was a close call. That was a really close call. He escapes, but he needs to be super careful here, committing the rewind as is. Now the bait against the Punisher, but the first keep is already down. And once more, we're having Caffeine jumping out. He's low and also got Shrink Raid. Arthelon is still in the middle of things with his Wrath of the Berserker. We have Divine Shield ready. Everything is still ready. All of the heroic abilities, they're going for Cladeus, but the Bolt of the Storm is there. Here comes the immediate move with the with the Void Prison. Dream jumps away, and they are safe, at least for now. But the Punisher is still punishing away, and he's punishing the mid lane right now. He's punishing the mid lane hard, and they want to go for the keep as well. They don't get it. Dream is again jumping away. Oh, Worm holds back, but Zeratul is down. Zeratul is dead, and the 3-man Void Prison, Divine Shield, they're going for it. Oh my god, they saved nearly everyone, but Caffeine is down, and that is going to be the end of the game. Now they can move in and try and go for the core. Really well played. Blaze. They go for Dunk Train, and this is the end of Uther. This is the end of Uther. K1 Pro, he's just barely getting back to the Nexus, but Blaze has the momentum, and they are using it mercilessly. They're starting to push for core right now, trying to take it. They still have the Putrid Bile, and they use it, and this is going to be the end of game number 2. We're seeing a tie in the series as Cloud9 is going to lose the match here. They are losing the game. They are actually losing the game on Infernal Shrines. It is a 1-1 situation. GG, well played. And we're going to go into game number 3 of the best of 5 series. Really well done here, and congrats to Team Blaze. Game number 3, we have a 1-1 in the best of 5 series here at the grand final of the End of the Storm North America. Cloud9 going up against Team Blaze once again. And it is the map choice of Cloud9 with Sky Temple. I personally really want to see if Zeratul is being banned all out, because this is one of the heroes that the two teams have been fighting over quite a bit during these drafts. And on Sky Temple, we have seen Blaze do some amazing work with Zeratul already before. Cloud9, they favor the hero as well. We know that already. And in this case now, Blaze, they have the first ban. So, for me personally, when it comes to like the bans, and well, when we're not focusing on Zeratul, who I mentioned already, it's always a bit of a question if you're trying to screw with Cloud9's draft because you're just simply taking Muradin away from them, either by making it a first pick for yourself or by making it one of the ban priorities. And that can actually work, but we have seen that in especially like... Alright, so it looks like Blaze is actually saying, you know what, that Zeratul, yeah, Void Prison, not really what we want here. Cloud9, we have seen bans on Zool. It could be, again, happening here. Falstad, on the other hand, can also be a huge threat on a map like Sky Temple because you have that global presence, which is incredibly powerful, first of all. And also, you have Mighty Gust, which is great for the boss. You can always try to take control of the boss spot, unless, of course, your opponent runs an Unstoppable somewhere, uses a cleanse against the Gust, something else. And yes, Falstad is indeed the ban that Cloud9 goes for. That leaves us with Zool. That leaves us also, of course, with Li Ming still, which we haven't even seen in the last game. Was actually very, very interesting to see that Li Ming wasn't taken nor banned in game number 1, but in this, sorry, in game number 2 actually. But in this case, we're having not an Atanas, but Blaze. Most likely, I'd say, either going to go into a Zool, they could go into a Thrall, or they're just really going to pick Muradin away. I suppose that you could go into Li Ming as the first pick as well, but seems like it's going to be that Thrall, indeed it is. So for Cloud9, what we would expect is first of all Muradin, and then with Muradin, you can go into Li Ming, or you can start... I'm always asking myself if they would actually, like, with the commitments that we have to supports right now, consider going straight up early into something like a Tacita or like a Tyrande, just to make that Muradin composition work. We have Thrall taken for the opponent, so there is a bit of a chance that we have Thrall in a particular combo with maybe even an ETC Tyrande taken right now. So Cloud9 might think about like sniping one of those heroes away. When we're talking about like the damage alone, you could go into a Zool for control, into also push because you have the hero that is going to set up at the bot lane in the beginning. You could go into that Tyrande, into that Tacita. You have the opportunity to go into Li Ming as well. The drafts between the two teams are starting to... They start actually to change a little bit because the two teams are starting to draft not only good compositions for themselves, but they're trying to just counter draft. And there she is, Tyrande, as I said before, because if not for that, I personally would have seen an ETC Tyrande taken again by Blaze. And in this case, it makes perfect sense for Cloud9 to kind of counteract it a little bit and try to put something on the table which really helps them to first of all get locked down for themselves with Mirror and Tyrande, also work towards that double support, that potential double support again, with a Tacita coming in, with a Rhaegar, with like anything that they want really here. And Blaze is going to have a bit of a more different time. And you can really see how during the entire tournament, but also between this series, suddenly heroes that we've seen as first picks and earliest picks are starting to just shift away a little bit. And it's not really that damage lockdown immediately. I mean, look at this, for example. We have a Li Ming that is now being added, and we haven't even seen it in the last game. But Blaze is already thinking about their front line as well, because they know they have a Thrall already, but we have a Muradin against them, and this is now one of these setups where they could try to go for a Zul, they could try to go for like a healer as well, since we can expect maybe even a couple of heal bans. Sonya is an option that they could go for if they want to run with that heavy front line, which we've seen several times. Thrall, Sonya, Zeratul, Sonya, plus X, plus a tank. But Cloud9 would also like to run that Sonya. Muradin to run the Sonya is super scary and can definitely be played here. So even when we're talking bans, it's starting to be a bit of an issue. An ETC pick, even without the Tyrande opportunity, is definitely still strong, since you have that combo with Thrall and ETC. You need, of course, to make sure that you set things up properly with the Sun Ring, and then you get the Mosh Pit in afterwards. But that's a very scary lineup as it is, and they go for it indeed. So now when it comes to like bans, we haven't really seen the focus on Jaina that I personally expected at times. I would say that a Jaina would be a good ban, but I really expect Cloud9 to go for something different here right now, just because Jaina hasn't really played the biggest role for both of the teams here. So in a normal setup, I would say, okay, with the setup that we're seeing here with the Mosh Pit, a Jaina is a huge threat, but considering how the games were played so far, the teams don't really feel to go for Jaina too much. It's not Cognitive, who really love to play the hero, and for good reason. I mean, they're strong with it. But yeah, let's see what exactly Cloud9 bans out right now. We have still supports around, and you can, for example, argue that Uther would be a good ban for them now. It depends a bit on what Cloud9 wants to pick as their potential second support, but that would be definitely a choice that they can make now to say, okay, Uther is going to be banned out because ETC with the Divine Shield is a bit too strong, and also if Thrall later on just overextends a bit, Uther is always the one who can like save him. So let's make sure that Uther is not going to be part of the draft. They can still go into something along the lines of a Rhaegar, for example, but at least we don't have to deal with that extra stun, and also not, of course, with the Divine Shield themselves. So that's a strong option for them. Besides that, I'd say you could argue damage, but I really feel Stitches as a front line. I'm not really sure if I would be worried about the Stitches. That's actually like a very interesting ban that caters more towards the last game than anything else, because Stitches was actually the top damage dealer in Siege and also against heroes. So that slam build apparently impressed Cloud9 a lot, or at least like the way it was played. And here comes the ban against Tacita. The Tyrande Tacita traditional composition is now being banned out. But Stitches ban is actually very interesting. I find that very interesting. Cloud9 respecting the style of Stitches that was played in the last game a lot, apparently. So the hooks and also, of course, like that damage setup worried them a little bit. Cloud9 have still a lot of damage dealers around. As I said, I could see a Sonya. I could totally see a Sonya. If you play a Sonya, then you play a double support with her, and you also play one range damage dealer. For now, it's a Vala first that is being locked down now. And that is, of course, again, auto attack damage that you can especially like hammer in against a stunned target, which is going to be great. Very likely that we're going to see the build once more with like Frost Shot on 13, Composite on 1, and then a full focus on the single target build with like auto attacks and especially Executioner on 16. But Cloud9 has still the opportunity to go into the second frontliner with the Sonya and then at either a second support, or you are going to play another damage dealer. And with Greymane now being chosen, which is a lot of poke, it's a lot of damage, I'm kind of doubting that Sonya a little bit, because Tyranda's the only heal for a Sonya for that setup is going to be tricky, especially against like Li Ming Thrall. That's a lot of poke. That's also, of course, that ETC. So having Zul in here as well. So I guess with this particular setup, you either go into a heavy hitting tank that would then maybe be... Nah, I don't really see a Leoric, to be honest with you. I don't really think that's going to happen. I suppose that we are going to see another healer. Maybe Rhaegar. We'll find out. I mean, Blaze for now, they play Zul, and they actually picked that Uther that I could have seen Cloud9 ban out, as I said before. With Zul and with ETC. I could see a Rhaegar, but Uther, I feel, does a better job with a Divine Shield for ETC and Thrall, so I feel like that works a bit more in terms of synergy. But they go for Rhaegar, okay. So Rhaegar has normally better heal numbers, but he doesn't have that uninterruptible mosh pit or like that Thrall, so Rhaegar needs to be a bit more careful with the positioning since he can't cast his Ancestral on himself anymore. But that leaves for Cloud9 the potential. Cloud9 could have gone into Rhaegar Tyrande, and I'm actually like wondering a little bit if that played at least a bit of a role in the choice for Blaze. Because Cloud9, they could decide for the Uther now. It's like a panic button hero. You have Greymane jumping in and he gets slow and you say like, have a Divine Shield, my friend. Live a little bit longer so that I can get my cooldown back and then can heal you again. And that's what happens. Sky Temple is the third map, boys and girls. Cloud9 versus Blaze, map number 3 in the best of 5. Keep in mind it's not going to be last map. But yeah, let's jump in and see which team is going to take it here. And that's going to be really good. So boys, we are going to go into the third map here at the end of the Storm North America Finals. Game number 3, everyone. We have our third game in the best of 5 series between Cloud9 and Team Blaze. The series is tied, and to the left side we have Cloud9 once again. And while at this moment we have Dunk Train on Uther, I Dream on Greymane. We are seeing Arthalon on Vala. King Caffeine is playing Muradin again. He's basically the embodiment of Muradin. In real, he's actually like a little bit taller. He's not quite that short, but he should definitely like grow the same beard because he's basically Muradin. K1 Pro on Tyrande, and we're having to the right side of the map now Team Blaze with big impact on Zul, B-Kid on ETC, Gladius on Thrall, Jason on Li Ming, and Yu is playing Rhaegar. So, let's see how this is going to work out now in the third game for the two teams here. First of all, as you can already tell, we're having, in this case, Shade taken for Zul, who made his way once again into the game. We're seeing Vala going for that hybrid build again, apparently. Plus, also now, Tyrande, in the double support setup that the team is rocking, is currently using the cooldown reduction on the Hunter Smart. So in this case, right now, we're having Arthalon here in position. We're actually seeing the move with Greymane down to the bottom of the map, trying to, of course, soak the experience. In this case, actually staying straight on the mount, because he doesn't want to fall victim to the rotation that is eventually going to hit the bot lane here. At the top lane, we're having Uther in a very similar position, and everybody else is just waiting. Because with the Muradin and Tyrande, and also that Vala here, of course, the big idea is to just, like, burn a target down. Greymane actually falling victim to said rotation after all. 4 heroes at the bot lane are able to finally lock him down and get him, and that is a massive problem actually for Cloud9. This is a huge problem. They're starting losing towers here, and everybody else is just still soaking experience. Arthalon is moving down, but you can tell that not only is that gate gonna fall, they're gonna burst through tower number 2 as well. Guys, this is a disaster. This is as bad as it gets in the early game. They lost an entire wall that opens up also the well, which is already being attacked by the minions and is going to be taken down. I can guarantee that this well is going to fall before this second tower at the bot lane is going to be activated. 100%. They're going to go in, they're going to deliver the last few shots, and it's going to go down. But now they have a lead in experience, and this is like the perfect start for Blaze into the game. Doesn't get any better than that. Heavy rotation happening here, and of course, I mean, the big idea of Tyrande Muradin is that you usually are going to try to get some kills in the early games for yourself. That didn't work so far. Level 4, super early, and the extra talent with the Jailers taken now. We're also seeing after Power Hungry 4 Li Ming charged blast, and it's a 5 versus 5 in the mid lane here with a focus on Vala. Vala trying to escape, Yu jumps in, Arthalon escapes, is very low though, turns even around. I Dream finds himself in the same situation, losing hit points rapidly, and this temple is going into the hands of Team Blaze. They are moving in again with the Bone Prison against Uther, and Uther is already on the run. Dunk Train is low, like this is really tricky for them. They still don't have the level 4 talent. It's a massive power spike that you get at level 4 compared to pre-level 4 heroes. So right now this is really working, and finally it's level 4 versus level 4. With also an adjustment, thanks to the thick skin being used, we could see that auto attack build once again. An attempted jump here, but Q on Rhaegar, needs to be very, very cautious. Once again, the lead in experience for Team Blaze. They're starting to move in. Vala, oh no, it's actually like Tyrande in trouble. Here comes the Bone Prison, and well, the Curse Strikes are hitting so hard, but they don't get that kill. Caffeine comes into play, trying to go maybe even for Thrall. Moves away though, but yep, we have a lot of shots fired now with that top temple as well. And Cloud9 is in so much trouble here. They are losing structures everywhere. They are losing hit points. They're losing experience. This is not a good start for them. Not at all. The kill against Caffeine. It's 2 kills against 0. Doesn't sound like much, but in this setup, it is actually a lot. Down go the towers, 1, 2, one after another. Experience soaked by Rhaegar, and they go for the wells, taking the sustain away from lane now. Really great setup that we're seeing once again for Team Blaze. I mean, the aggression that they've showed throughout the entire tournament is absolutely crazy, and they are rocking it. They take the first fort, and this is level 7 versus level 6 already. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. Like, this is a disaster for Cloud9, at least this early in the game. They are going to struggle to come back into this. Not meaning that they can't, but it's definitely not going to be easy. We have Ratma's Blessing taken on level 7 now. We see the loudspeakers. We're seeing also, of course, again, a bit of a focus on the missiles here. But a good stun lock, and this is what they need. Early game kills, thanks to Marin Tyrande. This is what they need, and of course Blaze, they need to, I mean, Blaze is ahead, so it's not like they need to be careful because they are falling behind, but they need to be careful that they are not losing the lead that they established so far, because this is a great situation for them. They might even be able to head into level 10 before the temple at the bot lane is activated. But right now we are seeing, as expected, the Quicksilver bullets here after the thick skin, so instead of going for the build where you kind of focus a bit on the cocktail, they're trying to go for the auto attacks more, and wow, oh my god, Arthelon, thanks to Seeker, gets a massive damage input in. And there's the kill against Rhaegar. Cloud9 is starting to get their act together. And with that, they are able to take one of the towers down. So they are closing the gap in experience, and they're really able to get their kills in. 2 kills against 2 right now. And this is one of those moments where Blaze has to say, guys, take a deep breath. We have the lead. Let's not throw it away, because there's no reason. But that's exactly what they're doing right now. They lost 2 heroes. The rotations are always going to be strong, and here they come again. And they're going for Thrall, and Thrall is down. Cloud9 is saying, like, boys, we were just kidding. Kill against ETC now too. And guess who's back? It is Cloud9. 4 kills against 2 now. They get a double kill at the bot lane. Look at the experience right now. This was the lead that Blaze had, and it's gone. It's simply gone. So right now we have also actually like Mule taken on level 7. Tyrande going into Mule and can use that to just like heal those lanes back up. But already the attempt to steal the camp away, which was successful by the way. King Caffeine was able to move in for it. And now the temple is activated, and in half a level we're going to see level 10 for Cloud9. So Blaze was ahead by a level, and then Cloud9 just activated the turbo. Cloud9 went in and said like, alright boys, we got this. And now they're going for the temple at the bot lane, or at least for a few shots. They're actually playing this kind of safe. King Caffeine, good timing, using the unstoppable frames on Muradin's Dwarf Toss to jump out of the Bone Prison. Vara is still at the top, is starting to make her way down to the bottom, but she is of course a bit late. Caffeine has to well up, and well, me and my big mouth, right? Saying that they're definitely going to take down the well. They finally claim it, but it's already has been used to get at least a few of those hit points back, and there's the level 10s right now. Should have taken it out a little bit earlier, to be honest. That would have been a big shot. On the other hand, then, to be honest, I mean, with level 10s already there, doesn't really make a difference. They lost the advantage when they lost 4 heroes for basically nothing. Right now we're having level 10s for both of the teams. Rain of Vengeance, we have Divine Storm, go for the throat. But besides that also, the Skeletal Mages. Here comes again the go against Arthelon. Arthelon, yes, he's able to escape. A Dunk Train is there. But there is the Sundering. Skeletal Mages being used too. Divine Shield on Arthelon, keeping him alive. Goes, turns around, drops the Rain of Vengeance. It's the double kill as iDream goes for Li Ming and says like, you are mine, baby girl. Down goes Li Ming, and well, the dog is also going to fall. Very optimistic Hearthstone attempt. He was probably thinking like, yeah, why not? Let's just press it, but he knew that it was dead. So now we're having Cloud9 in the lead in experience by an entire level. Cloud9 just turned the entire game on its head. They were a level behind, they were fighting with the talent disadvantage for quite some time, and now they're just simply saying, you know what guys, I don't like this. Losing, not really my thing. Could we please like go back to winning again, because yeah, that's way more fun. And apparently everybody else agrees, so that's what they do. But we've seen how Blaze handles the late game. They are solid. They're really solid. And they could, of course, try and make the same plays here again, as we've seen on the last map. But Cloud9, they've played a lot of this Sky Temple. It's actually like their map choice right now. And so far, they are definitely not... I mean, the early game was maybe a little bit awkward for them, but at this point, they're starting to run the show again. Arthelon, on the other hand, he's very low. Caffeine is there. Is the Divine Shield or the heal's going to be ready? Yes. Wow. Even the save now against They always, it feels like bait the entire time. Kill against Dimming, kill against ETC. Guess who's dying next? Yeah, it's gonna be Zul, your favorite Necromancer. He gets an Ancestral Healing, but right now they actually want everybody. Caffeine was trying to go for a stun, but yeah, they get Zul now too, and that's 10 kills against 3. 10 kills against 3. This is insane. 13 versus 11. A 2-level lead. Frost Shot, Sprint, Unfettered Assault. I mean, yeah, that's... yeah. Not quite sure what to say there. We at least have like the Siege Giants over there trying to sneak in from behind. This is like Siege Ninjas right there. They're sneaking in from behind and they're trying to drop a tower. And they're actually going to get the tower. But that's about all that they're going to do here. Top lane pressure with a level 13. We have, of course, now also a Shrink Ray taken. But now we have 2 forts eliminated. So we're seeing actually a very similar... Not quite. I wanted to say that they're having a similar situation in structure, but it's actually not true. We have 5 forts against 4. And with now 2 temples against up. We're going to see that level 30 talent coming into play now as well. So at this point, we're having the temple already activating in the middle. I Dream is there, and well, we have Vision at least taken by ETC. Caffeine is saying like, dude, are you crazy? This is my watchtower. Get the hell out of there. My watchtower. Mine. Mine alone. Mine. My precious. So Caffeine, sucking at those lollipops with his Meridian skin, takes the watchtower, and now we have again the fight for the temples. And 13 is at least up against also for Blaze. So 13 versus 13 talents. Vala is going to move in again, and on 13 we now have first of all the Earth Shield taken, Glass Cannon. We are seeing the Corpse Explosion after Ratma's Blessing, and also a Spell Shield for Thrall, which he definitely needs to use. But Vala gets the experience, and they're really fighting for this. They want to have the team fights. Talking team fight, Caffeine is getting plastered in the ground. What was he doing there in the first place? There comes a nice move. Oh my god, that was a great combo that we actually saw there. So yes, they are able to kill not only Caffeine, but also Uther. Uther down, Caffeine down. Even that Rain of Vengeance didn't really do a whole lot there. That was well done. And guys, you know actually what happened there? This was actually that cleanse on Rhaegar saving ETC. Rhaegar just saved that mosh pit, because Rhaegar just simply cleansed out the stun on the Rain of Vengeance. So it was like the perfect cleanse. And now, this entire thing is going to be turned on its head again, because they're going to go for boss and then they're going to go for the second temple. But Rhaegar realized that that mosh pit would be perfect for them, and the only one who could interrupt it was Vala. So once that Arthalon got in position for the Rain of Vengeance, he simply cleansed ETC, cleansed out the stun, and it worked perfectly. So in this case, they're now seeing the boss pushing the bot lane. They can go for the temple as well. They can actually time that even. And this is getting absolutely crazy. There we go already. Bam, fort is down. The boss is going to push in. It's a 5 versus 5. Thrall is on the temple. You're seeing everybody else starting to move in at the top lane. Arthalon is already there. And down to the bot lane, yeah, we are having the boss starting to go through the wall as well. 10 kills against 5, but the team fight that was important was won by a Blaze, and they are back. They are back, boys. And they're not only back, they're actually ahead right now. Just slightly in experience, but also in structures. They are ahead in structures. They are starting to pressure the first keep. Uther has to actually Divine Shield himself here, and they are just moving back. They're in an amazing spot. They have a level 16 talent first, which gives us the Skeleton Mastery now as well. And we're having at the same time Speed Metal, Fork Lightning, Mirror Ball, and Earthgrass Totem taken. So things are starting to look a little bit better. Just a tiny little bit for Blaze. Double Executioner. Whoa, alright. Vala hits the multi-shot, calls the target, then it's time to die. Because Greymane and Vala are going to be in. Sundering used, oh, but, well, that didn't do anything. Well played here. Sundering stun negated, good job. Once again, we're seeing in this case one of the supports really coming through for his teammate. That's one cooldown that's already eliminated. We have once again the jump, and guess what? That's a keep right there. First keep is down, and they are really starting to go straight for it. Once again, we're seeing them jumping in, but a nice lockdown thanks to that Earthgrass Totem, but Meridian is jumping over. Here comes that lockdown attempt against Rhaegar, and the dog. They're always beating the dog. Someone called Peter, because I'm really not happy with how Cloud9 is treating Rhaegar in this game. Rhaegar is dead again. Ranger has now been taken, by the way, on level 16 as well, and they are going straight into also drop B-Kit. If they can slow him down, or if Caffeine can get a Stormbolt off, that would of course be the ideal scenario, but they don't want to chase too much. Instead, they are going to turn around and start a few of the camps again. So once more, we have in this case, as you can tell, already the damage output. Siege damage, 77,000, 30,000 on Vala, 96,000 siege damage for her, 31,000 hero damage on Li Ming. So again, solid numbers here on both sides, but especially Vala quite impressive with all of that siege damage that she was able to push out. Multi-shot has been nerfed, and we also have seen, of course, a nerf a little bit on, well, Arsenal hasn't been taken, so that's a bit of a nerf to like that siege damage that we usually see from her too. That Mule, by the way, didn't really get a whole lot of value out in this game yet. Of course, it's a great choice on Sky Temple to go for Mule, but the way that the game has been played and the way the game has been going, Mule didn't really get an opportunity to heal anything up. There were not really any structures that were like on low health that he could heal up again. Everything was bursted down by bosses, by temples, by approaches, by 5 heroes that were starting to just like drop a structure right away. So that was not really the best talent yet, but of course that can still come into play, especially later when we're talking core damage. Then it can be incredibly powerful. They go in, they try to go for ETC, he starts to move away once again, and here comes that attempt. Ancestral healing saving them, Divine Shield on Greymane. He went in deep and had to be safe there, but that's a lot of cooldowns that were already committed. One of the cooldowns that's still active though is also still that Mosh Pit. And guess who else has not committed to the heroic ability yet? Yes, of course, Vala, because she has one of the few interrupts. There is a cleanse that can be a problem, but at the same time, if the entire time Rhaegar holds his cleanse back, then he's going to miss a lot of other opportunities that he can use. It's an exchange in temples as well, and that is currently working in favor of, again, Team Blaze. They have a massive push going through the top lane, which could drop the keep, and they are having it very low already. Here comes the attempt to go for the kill, and they get it. Zul is down, but everybody is low for Cloud9. That's the first kill. iDream is low, Caffeine is low. You wants the kill. Here comes the Stormbolt. Caffeine is trying to rush away, activating his trade already. Vala down, Greymane down, and yeah, no wow. Oh, Caffeine with a place. But I think eventually he's not gonna make it, is he? Yeah, nah, there's the kill. It's a triple kill. Already the keep at the top lane has been eliminated. They get double temples right now. 18 versus 18. They don't even get the last few shots over here. Are they going to try and end the game? It looks a little bit like they are. They abandoned both of those temples, and the only reason why you would do that is because you say, guys, we have a chance there. The call was made, they want to finish it, and they're going for it. Only the 2 supports are still alive. 10 seconds until Vala is going to be back, and we are seeing Blaze trying to go for that drop against the core. They want the 2-1 lead in the best of 5 series, and it's looking good, but Vala is back. No cooldown yet. Here comes the Mule. They've been talking about it, but it looks like the damage is there. Greymane is back to business, and ETC with a mosh pit. This is going to be the conclusion of game number 3. The 2-1 lead in the grand final. Team Blaze takes the lead against Cloud9. Okay, game number 4 is about to start. We have Cloud9 going up against Team Blaze on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and this could theoretically be the last map in the best of 5 series here at the grand final. Blaze has taken the lead. They were able to win 2 in a row now after Cloud9 took the initial map, and of course drafts on Tomb of the Spider Queen are usually a bit different from what we see on most maps. Blaze is thinking about banning Zeratul, which I think is a great decision since Cloud9 has played Zeratul on this map a lot and overall is just very fond of the hero and for very good reason. We could see a ban on Zul now because, well, Tomb of the Spider Queen is a map that really prioritizes lane pressure, wave clear quite a bit, and Zul has that in spades. So I could definitely see a ban, like a pick on Zul if if Cloud9 decides to not ban him out here. It would be a very, very good choice for them, and I personally believe that this is probably the best ban at this point. Bans that we've seen in most of the games, on the other hand, for Falstaff. Omega Star, thank you very much for the support, bro. Cheers for that. Oh, look at that ban. Alright.
Great games, great casting.
Thanks,
Keep
man.
those sleepy eyes open though.
Yeah, 1 a.m. We're still good. But look at this ban. ETC banned out, and Blaze actually prioritizes Falstad over Zul. with a wave clear. I mean, Zul is not the only one that has great wave clear. Falset actually with the Gathering Storm build on level 1 is very, very good for that too. And Cloud9 in this case now with the Mirrodin lockdown, that is more or less a given. Whenever they get the chance, they do that. And they have a Thrall. Mirrodin Thrall opening, ETC banned out. So apparently they were really unhappy with the mosh pits that we've seen so far by Blaze. And I can understand why. I mean, that was a huge win condition for Blaze, and they were really able to pull that through, especially, of course, with those Rhaegar cleanses that we've seen on Sky Temple. That was pretty impressive to observe. But Blaze gets now Zul as well and Johanna. And boy, if one combo this early in the draft screams wave clear, then it's definitely that. I mean, Johanna is there. King Cruel, thank you very much, my friend. Thanks for the support, bro. Well, the dogs are being let out. In the last game they were punished. At least additionally, Rhaegar was always kicked around. But, I mean, look at this wave clear. Zul, Falstad, like Falstad gets incredible wave clear, especially later on when he starts to get some extra damage points on his Gathering Storm. So the Boomerang build is very good for that. So it's something that they're going to try and use here. But Johanna has also Night Takes Pawn. And I mean, Zul himself with a skeleton trade, with also, of course, him using the Cursed Strikes. This is scary stuff. And Cloud9, they have to counter against that somehow. So get a few heroes in that have a bit of like siege damage of wave clear. So heroes that can really fill that niche, that is a Zagara, for example, if you want to play her at the bot lane, but Thrall could also fill that role in their case. You can play Sylvanas, you can go into any kind of like AoE hero. Haven't really seen too many Janas, and I'm not really sure if Cloud9 is going to be willing to commit to her. So they could try to also just simply dominate the rotation. You usually have a 1-4 setup on the map, whereas the bot lane we are seeing a hero for each team trying to like run a solo lane, and then 4 heroes are committing to rotations between mid and top. If you want to try and dominate that, then Cloud9 could go into a Tyrande and play Mirrodin Tyrande once more and try just to get these early snipes in, so that would work for them for sure if they're trying to. If they do that, then they have to pick the Tyrande now. We've also said Zagara was actually banned, so in this case they can't even rely on Zagara. They banned her out. They were maybe a bit afraid that Blaze would heavily commit even more to siege damage, which I can understand. I mean, the lineup is already scary. The advantage that you get through siege damage in this game is that you press lanes back, so you get vision, or you get at least map control in the middle where those 2 turn-in spawns are collected, and that gives you a lot of opportunities to really control the flow of the game and also control the objective, which is very strong here and can snowball. Vala as a pick is strong. I am curious to see how she's going to be played here, because this is one of the maps where I can see an Arsenal build going into multi-shot with Arsenal. So far we've seen the hybrid build, which I personally believe is one of the best builds that you can currently play on Vala. I really love the build. I think it's perfect. It's so good. It gives you the best out of 2 worlds. But if you really want to go for strong push and you feel you need it, then Vala might go into Arsenal on level 4 over Manticore. Rhaegar could go into Lightning Bond on level 1 if they are afraid that they are not going to have enough wave clear. That helps him. And this is actually, I think they're trolling again. Blaze, of course. But this is, yeah, they have to because there's no healer. But as I was about to say, like, the Cho'Gall on this map is actually very strong. Europe likes to play him a lot, but they don't have a healer, so they can't play Cho'Gall. But this is a map where you can actually play him. Illidan is not going to be played. They could play that, leaving that they shoved for a second there. In theory, Asmodan is actually strong. There's a couple of teams that played him on Blackheart's Bay in the past, and Asmodan is starting to come back again a little bit. But with the way that this entire setup has been going, I really doubt that they're going to commit to that. It would, of course, be cool to see that again, and we have heroes that could prepare for the stacking process on Asmodan, but then you are just like committing a little bit too much to it. I don't think it's going to happen, because these teams have been very, very aggressive in the way that they've been playing so far. The times where we see Asmodan on Tomb of the Spider Queen are unfortunately gone, but as I said, he's making his way back into at least some niche picks every now and then. But I highly doubt that Blaze on this map is going to gamble this much. The Sylvanas I like a lot more. That's something that I said at the beginning of the draft, that Sylvanas would be very strong and can be used, and they actually do that. So Sylvanas is in, and guys, this entire thing screams wave clear. Falstad with the Boomerang build, Johanna with the Night Takes Pawn, Zul with the Cursed Strikes, the Skeleton Mastery, everything else that he has. Sylvanas, of course, with the Unstable Poison on level 7. This is going to be very, very solid. They need still a healer with this setup.
Let the dogs out!
Swanee, thank you very much. Thanks, guys, for the support. It's really appreciated. Thank you a lot for this. No Avatar. They need a healer. They need support. Uther.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him you would say, "It glows last, pick Artanis up."
No Artanis. But Rhaegar could run that reindeer skin, actually. You're right with that. So Uther makes sense here. I like Uther. What else could they have taken? Charism isn't really something that the NA teams have shown us this weekend, so I don't think that he would have been a choice that they have considered even. Uther, I like the Lunara on the side of Cloud9. It's going to make it a bit difficult actually for Uther. Uther is having some trouble healing against Lunara. He needs to get good waves of life if he really wants to make that work. So yeah, Lunara is going to give him a bit of trouble, so it's not going to be an easy game for him. Not impossible, but still all that is spread out poison damage can be a bit of a nuisance. But I really like the aggression that we see from Blaze in terms of like wave push. So that's going to be pretty sweet. So Cloud9 versus Team Blaze, map number 4, the lead for Team Blaze. Guys, let's jump in on Tomb of Spider Queen and see if Blaze can actually pull it off. Ladies and gentlemen, potentially the last map of the day. There's a lot of money on the line here right now. We have Cloud9 versus Team Blaze, and Blaze is in the lead with a 2-1 here at the North America Enter the Storm Finals. To the left side of the map, it is Cloud9. We are seeing them with King Kafin on Mirrodin. We have Arthalon on Lunara, Dunk Train on Rhaegar, iDream on Thrall, and K1 Pro is playing Vala. To the right side of the map, we are currently seeing a big impact on Sylvanas for Team Blaze. We have Jason on Falstad, B-Kid on Johanna, you on Uther, and Claudius is playing Azul. And you can already tell that the name of the game is going to be Push. Push, 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 and have that wave clear ready. And this is going to be pretty crazy. I'm really liking this right now, and this is going to be quite some fun. $6,000 for the winner, for the champion, $3,000 for the runner-up, and of course a lot of hardware from Rocket. So this is going to be very cool. Already the cooldown reduction with the Lost Soul on level 1. We're seeing the Gathering Storm as we expected, and we have the Night Takes Pawn plus Shade being used. Lockdown attempt against Jason. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. The teams have shown incredibly aggressive play for the entire tournament, but especially here in the best of 5 final. And this could well be the last map. If Blaze takes it now, then they are the champion. Then they are the champion of Enter the Storm Season 2. Already to the bot lane, we are seeing, well, first of all, we're seeing a little bit of action up here as King Kafin is trying to interrupt that rotation, and B-Kid is very low on his Johanna, but doesn't need a Storm Bolt yet. Sylvanas, on the other hand, could actually suffer that fate in a few seconds. Keep in mind that everything that you see here is like leaning towards wave clear, especially when we're talking about Sylvanas that's kicking in with the level 7 talent when you have unstable poison, which is also roughly the time when we normally see the first team go for returning. Uther already in a bit of trouble here, and you can really see that Lunara is going to be the main damage dealer that they have to deal with. At the bot lane, Falstad and also Thrall are dancing that little dance on the solo lane. And we're seeing Shade on one as mentioned before, but also now the Colossal Totem and the Blossom Swell. Sylvanas is starting to just heal up here. And overall, this entire setup with the rotation between the two lanes is currently being dominated by Cloud9. They're doing really well here, especially since that poke damage on heroes like, well, Vala with the composite arrow and also, of course, Lunara is giving them quite a few problems. Personally, for me, it's going to be really interesting to see nice damage here for Jason, getting also a few stacks, of course, with his Gathering Storm. What's going to be interesting for me to see is how exactly we're going to have K1 Pro skill his Vala, because he usually goes for the auto attack hybrid, of course, but in this case I could actually see them run an arsenal trying to just get like more wave clear out. In general, by the way, K1 Pro has played an incredible tournament. I want to highlight once again his performance here. Whenever we've seen him on a Vala, the damage output that he was able to bring to the table was just out of his world. Usually he's playing incredibly safe. We have seen him die very rarely, and he, especially yesterday, was playing amazing games for his team. Cloud9 overall super strong, but so is Blaze. They've played a fantastic tournament, and now we're having, first of all, again, Flowrider taken, Paralysis is also claimed. K1 Pro under a bit of pressure up in the top lane, hasn't chosen his talent yet, but we already have Tragul's Essence and Boundless Conviction taken. So the mana sustain for Xul, and we could also then of course see Ratma's Blessing on level 7, which is more or less what we expect here. And K1 Pro says, screw the wave clear, I'm gonna go again for the damage. We need damage against single targets. I'm gonna get that now, and we are going to make them weep. So for now, also the mana reduction for Rhaegar. We are having a Ride the Lightning plus Rolling Thunder, which especially for Thrall is great if you're running the solo lane, since the level 1 talent is going to give you a bit of mana sustain that you will need on the lane. If not for that, you won't be able to spam your Chain Lightning. Gladius is in a bit of trouble there, but is able to move back, so nothing like too tricky just yet. B-Kid went into the, actually a bit of self-sustain. That helps Uther to keep the rest of the team alive. If he doesn't have to focus on Johanna too hard, this is going to be a big help. And the teams are actually starting to get their turn-ins, and Cloud9 is doing a really nice job making sure that they get the first gems turned in here. Gladius is again very low, might actually have to move back, but has the cooldown on the well up, so he's good to go. Yeah, he is also there, and yes, this is Arthalon. Arthalon is just being a pest right now. He's super, super annoying, and that is his job description, of course. But B-Kid is there. Jason with the turn-in attempt already has to move away. He's have to barrel roll most likely. Yeah, nice block. B-Kid. Oh, this is the end of Johanna. Johanna down. Counter kill. No, not quite. Jason is already too low, and he doesn't want to go up against K1 Pro in that one-on-one situation. So Gems lost. And Sylvana's taken out as well at the top lane, apparently. Arthalon gets the damage in, and just have a look at Arthalon's damage. 15,000. 15,000 damage already, and still Vala with 10k too. So this is a very sweet setup for Cloud9. Level 7 reached much faster for Cloud9. Jason and the chain lightning. This is Cloud9. They are taking the 3-0. They want to go into game number 5. Yu's already there. They're having now on level 7 Nature's Culling Taker, which is amazing against those Web Weavers. And guess who's gonna die next? It is Uther. That's a 4-0 in kills. And this is of course the perfect time as well, because those Web Weavers have just appeared on the map. And the level 7 talent is going to be a big deal. Having no healer around for another 10 seconds is going to be also not really easy. This is Unstable Poison. This is level 7 talent we've been waiting for. And all that wave clear that we're seeing on the side of them has not really helped them yet. Already locked down attempts against Thrall, but he's getting away. And Kefine has to jump out too. But they are starting to really put pressure in at the top lane, at the mid lane, and now also down here at the bottom. So in this case, Boomerang, Unstable Poison, everything is now suddenly in play to help them with the wave clear. But Cloud9 is already having a 1.5 level lead, which is more or less what you are trying to go for if you go for the first Web Weaver wave. We are going to see them head into level 10 very early, and maybe even for a second turn. And just look how much damage Arthalon was already able to put on that fort, especially with the Nature's Culling as a level 7 talent. The defense is finally ready, but like all of these structures are so low. And this is just amazing play by Cloud9 now. We're having on level 7 the Wave of Light, Ratma's Blessing, full skeleton build so far, and things are really looking good for Cloud9. I mean, they are playing a great game here. Of course, we have them also with another 42 gems already. Here's the turn-in attempt, and Storm Bolt used, and they try to go for Gladius. If they get Zul, that would be great, but Bone Prison already used. Rhaegar immediately moving back a little bit. He's, of course, a priority target, but look at Uther again. He's down, that's level 10, and that should be another turn-in. They're even going for Sylvanas and Locker. Oh my god. Cloud9 is completely wrecking their opponents. 6 kills against 0, a 2-level lead 6 minutes into the game. Forts are falling, and we are going to see another turn-in quite easily. I mean, they need a few more gems, of course, but still, they are going to get those. And in this case, as you can already see, 51 in their hands. We're seeing Arthalon waiting for the minion wave, but then he's going to try and put all the damage on the fort to drop that as well. They are in such an amazing position. It is insane. Really, really strong play here by Cloud9. And the heroic abilities, of course, make it just so difficult to do anything right now. We're going to see a turn-in with Web Weavers pushing, and the heroic abilities are going to make the thing even easier. Jason! Oh, healed! And no, King Kefine is having none of it. He's jumping in, they get the kill, they get the double kill maybe even. Yes, there it is. And that is, I mean, they don't even need the Web Weavers. They don't even need them. They just simply go for kill after kill after kill when we're seeing them just like push through all of the structures. The Web Weavers are also going to start pushing the keeps. Like 7 minutes and 30 seconds in, and we are already 2 keeps down on the side of Team Blaze. And Cloud9 is just playing a sick, sick game. Web Weavers are descending again. Guess what Blaze is lacking? It's called heroic ability. It's basically what you need to win this game. And right now, we are having the bot lane being pushed as well. Arthalon's just hopping around, putting some damage in. Nature's Culling. Oh, I'm gonna get that too. And they don't even have to bother with this, to be honest with you. I could see them push for a keep right now. I mean, at least the wall. Drop the wall at the keep and get like easy access for the next web weaver wave. That's all that they kind of have to do at this point. But Arthelon is focusing on the bot lane right now. Big hits, he can't really flank him anyways. I mean, in this case, if they get a couple of additional kills, look how fast he's actually putting this down. Level 10 is going to be ready in just a few, but Cloud9 is trying to get a kill before it happens. Not quite sure that they can make that play though, and yes, they retreat. But now they have Wailing Arrow against them. Mighty Gust and Zul is a bit out of position. Once again, they jump for him. This time it's a 10 versus 10 fight though, and they are starting to put the damage on iDream. Skeleton Mastery has been used as well. 13 Talent is now also in play, and that's the kill against Zul, against Uther, against Falstad. It's a triple kill, and Cloud9, they are not joking around here. iDream has to pause the game. Apparently there's a disconnect on King Caffeine. He can't control anything. Well, we haven't seen anything of that happening yet. But in this case, his car out walking forward. Well, that's the only redaction that King Caffeine wants to go anyway. Sounds legit to me. So Caffeine might be a little bit low, but at this point, the bot is apparently just having some fun. He's restarting the client, but guys, let's take a look at the damage and also the level 13 talents. We have Earth Shield taken, we are seeing the Spell Shield for Thrall for additional safety, Frost Shot, and we're already having the Thunder Strike here taken as well for Caffeine. So let's look at the damage. Let's have a bit of a look of what exactly is going on here. 28,000 already on Vala. She actually surpassed Lunara. Lunara still brings the most siege damage, but they haven't even like lost a single hero. 0 deaths on all 5 of them. And at the same time, we're having to the right side, of course, already 11 kills against 0. And I mean, in damage, just compare, for example, Sylvanas with the 17,000 damage being the biggest damage dealer for Team Blaze against what we're seeing from those two bad boys. Even Thrall is close to Sylvanas at this point. All of the forts have been eliminated. The Web Weaver are starting to push straight for the fort at the top. For the keep at the top, we're seeing over here already the first tower about to fall, second one as well. And this is a 5 versus 3 situation, right? I mean, there's no web weaver around anymore. That has already been defended against, but still, it's a 5 versus 3 that we're talking about. And 19 seconds on false, that's 16 on, of course, Zul, and Uther hasn't even disappeared yet. His ghost is still around. The bot lane is also pressured, and I mean, with the web weaver already at half health, it doesn't really look like they're going to get much more than the 2 volts here, but still, we are going back into the game, and yes, let's find out how this is going to end at this point. I guess at this point we already know, unless, of course, Cloud9 throws that. Meridian is down! King Caffeine feed confirmed. So apparently, like, the bot, a little bit too much of a death wish, going forward the entire time, apparently does not result in victory. But it results in a kill against Sylvanas. I mean, why not? Casually, they move in and say, like, yeah, okay, let's take her. So they lock her down, take her apart, drop a couple of structures in the process, and then move simply away. It's a 3-level lead. And, well, Jason is down here. Jason sees Lunara and says, like, hell yeah, I'm out of there. Like, I'm not going to deal with those bad boys. 12 kills against 1. Caffeine is going to be back pretty soon. But this is, of course, wall lost at the top. The wall lost nearly at the bottom. Not quite. But we have a 3-level lead at level 14 versus level 11. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than that. 12 kills against 1. The only question really is, how can Blaze come back into this? They have started amazing comebacks, actually. They've actually been able to do some amazing comebacks over the entire tournament, but especially in this series, if you think about what happened on a few of these games already earlier, that was pretty impressive. Question is now, can they do that again? And against the extra talent that we're seeing for Cloud9, it seems very unlikely. They're trying to keep Big Kid alive, but Johanna, whoa, there's the strafe, trying to get the kill just out of range. But they're going for another kill potentially. Jason trying to use the Mighty Gust, but Zul is down. And K1 Pro is saying, I got this. And is starting to run straight in and trying to chase Uther away here and maybe top. That didn't really work completely. But yeah, Dream is looking at the boss. He wants to greet a little bit. It's a 4-level lead, guys. It is a 4-level lead. Look at that damage output on Vala. Vala is already going for it pretty much solo. If she had Manticore, that would probably even work. But yeah, Vala is already on point. Here comes Dunktrade moving as well. They can get an easy boss here. There's absolutely no way, especially with Gust down, that anybody is going to contest that. Gust is actually up by now, but Fawcett would have to fly over here and gust him away. It isn't enough to just gust away from the platform. That doesn't really help you. So boss taken. And well, with that, still the 3-level lead. Let's look at the tournament potential. We have 43 gems now, 44, 45, 46, 460. They should probably turn in. I mean, I would just turn it in to be safe on that. They're not going to get a Web Weaver wave, yeah, but like, why not get rid of them? That's one of the things that you should actually do. So for now, we're seeing Blaze with a very, very nice setup here, once away from forward defense, but they need... Oh, Jason nearly locked down by this. And we're having already over here the push in the mid lane, trying to go for it. The defense is going to be a difficult one. I mean, I'm not quite sure how Blaze is going to try and save that, but they are going to lose forts, and they know that. Oh, sorry, they're going to lose keeps. They need 13. It's actually smart from Jason to use the Mighty Gust this early, because it buys them a little bit of time. The cooldown is so low that he might get another opportunity to gust away at the end of the fight, because it's very unlikely that Cloud9 is going to just simply let up like this. The boss is already defended against, but the keep at the top lane has suffered severe damage. Here comes the Skeleton Mastery, or the Skeleton Mages. Well played, nice healing. Silences through though, a bit too late to interrupt the Ancestral, but still, they're going for the fight once more. 16 versus 13 talents right now, and again the kill against Sylvanas. Yes, Uther is about to fall, and they're not getting that counter kill that easily. Down goes Falstad, and B-Kid is eliminated now as well. They're going in for the kill. It's the wipe, and this is going to be game number 5, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to see coming up next. Cloud9, they tie the series, and we have the 5th game coming in this best of 5. This is going to be incredible. This is going to be really, really awesome. Game number 5, the final map is going to come into play. Good job by Cloud9. They tie the series again against Team Blaze at the end of the Storm, North America. The 5th game, the final game, the last map. It's Battlefield of Eternity, and we have ETC banned out by Cloud9. They finally seem to have figured it out. They don't like to go against that mosh pit. They were trying to just really figure out, okay, how do we deal with Blaze? And Blaze always had something prepared for them. But that ETC was a big part of how Blaze were able to come back into these games. And Cloud9 kind of dominated a lot on Tomb of the Spider Queen. But of course, before that, we've seen amazing comebacks by Blaze, and they are going to try and make that happen once again. Battlefield of Eternity is a map where we had both teams already prioritize Tyrande quite highly, because she can give you the extra damage on the Immortals. Blaze not banning out a Zeratul is also already a very interesting sign here. Instead, they are thinking about a ban on Thrall. That would leave us with Zul, Li Ming, Zeratul still available for the draft, and let's not forget that also Falstad would suddenly be an option here. And that makes things extremely interesting. So Blaze, not locking it down yet, actually like toying around a bit, looking at Li Ming, looking at Thrall for the potential bans there. If Zeratul doesn't make the way into the ban, then he's definitely going to be one of the picks, unless of course the second draft option, or the second ban option is going to eliminate him. But this is... Oh, are they actually committing to that? Yes, they do. Alright, they know as well that Tyrande, as I said, is a huge deal on this map, so they ban her out. Cloud9, Muradin. What else? Are they really going to go for something else here? Are they going to neglect Muradin now? Cloud9. Actually, they have done it before. They have done it before when they were thinking, okay, we're going to get Muradin in the second phase. Then they sometimes actually let him go. But now Caffeine, he's putting his foot down. He's saying, like, boys, we're not risking anything here. It's the last map. I want my Muradin. I want to make sure that I can carry the front line, that I have everything under lockdown. And his Muradin play was great. So let's see if they're actually going for it again. Yes, they do. Blaze, how are they going to run it now? For them, they have a couple of options now once again. Falstad, of course, can be strong here. It's still a big map, only 2 lanes though, not 3, but Falstad can be quite nice, and that Gust that we've seen from Blaze didn't really maybe have the huge impact that they are used to on the last map, but before that, their Falstad play was actually exceptional. And keep in mind that Zeratul is also still available. So with the Thrall first pick, they can definitely run that. They can also, in this case, go for Zeratul. And I know I've been talking about it a lot. They're going to tease us with Cho'Gall again, but besides Tomb of the Spider Queen, this is probably another really amazing Cho'Gall map. Just saying. Don't really believe in a Cho'Gall. We have seen Cho'Galls in Europe a lot, also at the regional finals in Katowice, but I haven't seen Cho'Gall yet in the entire End of the Storm finals, and I highly doubt that Blaze is going to start with that now. So there is the Zeratul. Yes, as expected. Zeratul early pick, and together with the Thrall. And guys, now it's going to become really interesting. Cloud9, damage. When we're talking damage, who do we still have? Again, Vala, I could see a Vala for them. Maybe not right now, but Vala is a hero that they've been playing with K1 Pro the entire time. And let's just face it, his Vala is insanely strong right now. I'm really loving K1 Pro's Vala. very strong. But Falstad is around, Li Ming is around, Zul is still available, and they lock that Falstad down. So they have Falstad right now that they can again use with the Gathering Storm. And we have also Tassadar taken, which leads into a potential double support build, even though Tyranna's already banned out, but they can play that again with an Uther like they did before. They can play the Tassadar with a Rhaegar, they can play Tassadar with Brightwing, or they can just simply at some point say, listen up, Tassadar is actually something that is enough for us right now. We feel that with the shields alone we can deal with this. But if they go into their anti-Zeratul comp, then it would be that Tassadar plus Brightwing maybe again, which we've seen, of course, with Oracle, with Peekaboo, and then also the lockdown thanks to Polymorph. And Blaze, they get rid of Greymane. They already have two very aggressive frontliners there, or aggressive melee heroes that go into a Zeratul and a Thrall that are always trying to be in the opponent's face. And Greymane is someone who is always jumping the backline as well, and they want to make sure that Cloud9 don't have access to this. So Greymane is banned out, and now after Rhaegar is banned, we have Blaze with their reaction. They, of course, need to think a bit about how likely it is for Cloud9 to also go for, well, first of all, they seem to be picking Valar away, but they have to think about how likely it is for Cloud9 to go into double support right now. And if double support, which double support is going to be played? Because if they feel that they need to pick their support right now, then they're forced into it. And I could see an Uther again. I actually think that they might go into Uther right now at this point. Vala is already a good pick for them. It's a nice damage that they have with that, especially, of course, against the Immortal, against the single target, so to say, and also Mirrodin at the potential front line. So that is going to help them quite a bit. And it's Bubble Wipe. Again, if we are going to see the Reign of Vengeance over Strafe after Zeratul uses Void Prison, this is how you actually can blast these targets away if you have a good setup. It's something that they have done against opponents before, and they could do the same thing once more. Question, of course, is still, are we going to see a support next? And if so, are we going to see, yes, we do, and they pick Brightwing away, apparently, so that Cloud9 can't use Peekaboo here. It's also in the map, by the way, where we've seen Bloodlust before. I'm just mentioning that before because Cloud9 watched these games, obviously, and bans out Rhaegar. So, something to think about. Another hero that is, by the way, still around, talking about that Bloodlust comp that was played. We still have Zul. Zul is not picked yet. Lily isn't picked yet. Both of them are still around. Shade, thank you very much for the support, my friend. Cheers. Very much appreciated. Thank you for that, dude.
Game 5 hype. Keep up the good work.
I will do, thank you. And yes, Game 5 hype indeed. Zul is still around. Li Ming is still around. Double support, yes or no? Who could they pick if they want to go into a double support? Let's think about it for a second. We have actually seen Tassadar Malfurion before. That didn't work against the Bloodlust combination, but it's something that could be used again. You could use Tassadar solo, as we said. And yeah, besides that, your options are starting to really be a little bit limited. In theory, I mean, think about a Lily with an E-build for like the Dodgerinos against auto-attack Vala, auto-attack Zeratul, auto-attack Thrall. The dream. But still, Lily doesn't have the new skin yet, so not sure. But there's Li Ming. Okay, so damage on Falstad and on Li Ming. And, well, looking at that setup here, how are you going to run it? Are you going to put that second support in? Yes, no. Karazim is, of course, still around. You can use him, too. And you could... Currently thinking what else they could do. I mean, like, if they want to really go into someone else, not in the two heroes that we already talked about, and you want to have another frontliner, you can either play with a Sonya, I suppose, or in theory, I guess you could go into a Tyrael. Even though I like the Sonya option a little bit more with Mirrodin and Aggression. But they decide in favor of Zul, as we mentioned, he's still up there. And yeah, that works. I like Zul. I could have seen a Sonya. Zul is strong. This is pretty good too. Leaves him with Tassadar solo. But of course, Zul can go into Ragmar's Blessing. We have also Mirrodin in this case with his trait and also with the Stone Form later on, with the Avatar most likely considering the setup here. So they have the sustain that they need, but Tassadar will have to be on point. For Blaze, a frontliner is missing. And with the setup that they're running here, it's very unlikely that they're going to go again into a setup where they're... Whoa, okay. Alright. Didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming. Wow, John of Cross. Dude, thank you. Cheers. That Lunara is... Wow. That is crazy.
I've been watching you on YouTube for a while, as I enjoy
Thanks,
your
man.
enthusiastic and highly informative commentary. Keep it up.
Well, John, welcome to the live stream then, if you so far have only been watching YouTube. But yeah, glad that you enjoyed the show. And a show it indeed is, with Lunara taken, and again no tank on this map. So with last time we had at least Zula at the front line together with Thor. Now it's more or less only Zeratul. And Zeratul is not the guy that is going into melee range and saying like, yeah, alright, bring it. He's usually just like the sneaky one that is trying to go around and take someone on. So Thrall is more or less the tank now, but Lunara is going to offer immense damage, of course, to Blaze. So again, a similar setup to what we've seen them use against Naventic, but this time without the option to go straight into Bloodlust. Cloud9 versus Team Blaze, ladies and gentlemen. It's the last map. We're going to crown a champion right now, so let's jump in and start our 5th map. The final map, everybody. This is going to be the conclusion of the End of the Storm Season 2. We are going to crown a champion now. $6,000 on the line for the first place, $3,000 for the runner-up, and of course a lot of hardware, thanks to Rocket included as well. This is going to be it. We are seeing to the left side again Cloud9 with Caffeine on Mirrodin. We're having Dunk Train on Tacita, K1 Pro on Falstad, iDream on Zool, and we see Arthalon on Li Ming. To the right side of the map at the same time, though, Blaze, and they keep it blazing with big impact on Thrall, Gladius on Zeratul, Jason on Lunara, you on Brightwing, and B-Kid on Vala. And you already realize that once again something is missing here. It is the tank. They once more run Thrall as the tank option, and this time even without Block as the level 1 talent. We don't have too many auto attackers on the opponent's team, so instead he's just saying, okay, I want to have like the sustain with my mana talent once again. So at this point, we are seeing him running the Rolling Thunder. We are seeing Regeneration Master for Zeratul, Natural Perspective for Lunara. Again, the start into the multi-shot build for Vala, of course. And as you can see, Shade taken for Zool and Force Armor next to the Gathering Storm. The stage is set for the final game, Battlefield of Eternity. Tyrande even banned out because the teams were in a situation where they said, listen, against those Immortals, that extra damage is actually pretty damn good, so let's make sure that we don't have to deal with the opponent bursting the Immortal down faster than we do. So yeah, it's just poke from a distance right now. Caffeine already jumping after Gladius. He sees a kill, and Caffeine is like a bloodhound, seriously. He is like a bloodhound. He sees a kill and he wants it. So he's going for Zeratul, trying to follow him, and already Falstad flying in. Caffeine, oh, and the store. The nice blink here from Gladius. So he's jumping away, but seriously, Caffeine, he sees he sees a target and he goes for it, and he is just not letting it go. And Falstad even flying in just shows how aggressive they are at this point. They really, really want this now. And they have played an amazing last game. But Blaze has played a great series and a great tournament, but they lose the first hero, the first blood for Cloud9. They get the first blood, and now the Punisher is on the map, or at least the Immortal is on the map, my bad. We're having everyone starting to rotate into the middle, and normally, of course, it is a burst duel, but now Brightwing has to jump back in. We're seeing a bit of damage already thanks to Zool at the top for the Punisher, for the Immortal Inrad. But down here, the fight is starting to start, and we have still level 3 for both of the teams, so no additional talent. Big impact is there. They're trying to isolate Caffeine. He jumps out. He's really low on mana, by the way. That is becoming an issue. And without a tank, this is a super aggressive setup that we're currently seeing on the side of Team Blaze. They prioritize damage over the front line, but they lose Thrall. K1 Pro gets away. Caffeine once again zoning, and iDream is already looking at Balan, trying to take her down. But look at the Immortal damage. There was a massive amount of push that has been done right now, and that was of course mainly because they are running with so many damage dealers. Caffeine is waiting for Lunara, is hammering his Stormbolt in, but the level 4 talents for them bring them maybe a slight advantage with talents, but still the damage output that we have for Blaze is more or less unrivaled at this point. So they're trying to burst it down in time, but this is going to be tricky. Charge Blast has been taken, the Flow Rider, Death's Reach on the Scythe now as well, Leeching Plasma and the Thunder Burn, but the Immortal is taken down much faster now by Blaze. Blaze is doing really, really well here when it comes to the Immortal damage, and with potential Nature's Culling on the side of Lunara, we could see that additional damage, of course, coming into play for this one then as well. Level 5 versus level 4. And here is the Master Warblade now taken as well. Not trying to use Warble Blades to leech onto like a Li Ming or Falstad, but instead with like this trait, with this talent, he can of course also then do more damage against the Immortals as is. It's not only important for the defense, it's also like really strong when you're trying to get the objective. Talking about getting things, they're trying to go for Lunara and for Vala, both of them low. Brightwing jumps in to the rescue, but that leaves Thrall alone at the top lane, currently trying to push with the first Immortal, and also trying to survive, which is of course also a nice thing to do. Oh, the kill! Nice! Arthalon and K1 Pro, they get the kill, and that's of course experience that they're going to lose if Blaze is not rotating someone up to the top lane, and they really need to do that, and they need to do it soon. They do it as we speak. We have also on level 4 now Manic Pixie taken, so the additional heals that we are seeing there, and Manticore for damage. We're having at the same time, again, that lead in experience for Cloud9, and I mean, this is the last map, so right now, every single move counts. Every single talent lead that you get is important. K1 Pro, oh, there he gets the hit against Zeratul. Alright, the first one misses, the second one goes in. Nice singularity spike against Arthalon, and Arthalon so far just poking against the structures. And we see a bit of a wraparound down here with K1 Pro and Caffeine attempting to maybe go for a bit of a snipe there, which hasn't really been successful yet, but they're just looking if they can find somewhere, someone on the map, maybe going for a camp where they can secure a kill. They have the level 7 talent right now, which is giving them the lead with Boomerang taken for Falstad after the Flow Rider on level 4. And we're seeing camps approached by Team Blaze. Blaze, by the way, is going up against the Li Ming with Calamity and Ratma's Blessing for Zul. But they want their level 7 talent themselves, of course. And they still need a bit of experience, but this should be enough right now. Yep, there we have it. Nature's Calling, yes, there it is. Nature's Calling is the talent that was to be expected already. Look at Frostwolf's Grace here. This is actually be pretty sweet to see that we have this one now as well. And this is really just like catering to the fact that they only have one frontline, and that is Thrall. Zeratul is not the guy who's going to help you tank the damage at the front line. He will try to stay alive somehow and put damage at the back line, but that's already it. And with Nature's Culling, look at how these hit points bars are racing down actually. Especially now with Li Ming also committing completely to it. But once more, we are seeing actually the red team doing a bit better. Blaze, thanks to the Nature's Culling, is doing a very good job. Follow through being chosen, face shield, and we're having the searing attacks now for Vala. So the single target damage is out of this world that they can provide here. And they are going to try to put that on Caffeine right now. But again, the go for the Immortal, and oh my god, do they have a damage output? It's crazy. Oh, but on the other hand, they are on the squishy side, and that's something that Claudius might experience now. Yes, he's down. Oh, the double kill. Yes, they get it. 2 kills now for Cloud9. Still, the Immortal is very low. Li Ming moves in to start and work on the hit points of Immortal number 2. But that was a very, very sweet play that we just saw there from Cloud9. Getting the double kill in, and now they're trying to get the Immortal down. But at the same time, of course, there's only a little bit of poke that Blaze needs to secure this one as well. And they are starting to move in for it, but are they going to win it? It's going to be so close, and yes, they actually do. They actually win Immortal number 2 as well. 200 shield is all that they're going to get here. In terms of levels, we still have a level lead for Cloud9, but Immortal number 2 is once again going to start to push, this time the bot lane. And Arthalon is very, very low right now. Oh, ho, ho, the dodge on the arrow. Really well done. I mean, this was actually extremely well done at this point, but like teleporting out at that moment when the arrow was just about to hit you, that was just something. That was really well executed. But the level 10s are going to be a big deal for Cloud9, and they will have them very early. And the Immortal down there, I mean, without the shield's not really going to do all too much. Dream is there, and the level 10s are now ready, and that means that the top lane has to actually disengage, because this is now going to be a 3 versus 3 with a level 10 advantage. Not for long, I mean, mind you, we are still a level 9.5 for Blaze, but it's still a bit of a lead that you get with it. And if Tacita, for example, locks you down somewhere with a nice force wall, then all of a sudden it could spiral out of control with a 5 versus 4 situation. And they are really going deep. I mean, Caffeine is already in enemy territory here. We're seeing at the same time down to the bot lane a bit of pressure play executed right now. Keep, of course, those skeleton in mind with the skeleton mages here that can be used now as well if they really want to force it. And they seem to really do that. They go for the 4th here already, and Li Ming is dishing out the damage, and they are going to get this one. Level 10 is just now around, but Thrall is still up at the top, and actually Cloud9 says, hey, we already did enough damage, let's just move away for now. This fort is more or less a goner anyways, we don't have to commit to it at this point, we are not risking dying here and getting wiped. And this is now level 10 versus 10. And at this point, 5 kills against 0 for Cloud9. I want to highlight it again. When it comes really to the Immortal pressure and to the objectives, this is really where Blaze reigns supreme. But in the team fights, wow, another big burst here. And this time Lunara is down before it even starts. Sundering didn't really do anything. That was actually very badly executed here. And Thrall is down. Sundering did not really help saving them in this case. And the Void Prison was still active, so not even the heroes in the Void Prison were affected. Zeratul Ace did not really release it soon enough, and we did not see a well, we actually saw Rain of Vengeance, but it didn't really do a whole lot. They got the kill against Zul, I suppose, but that's 2 heroes that they just lost against 1, and they lost the fort as well. So 11 versus 10 is currently the situation, and we are seeing 5 heroes on the map for both of them, with no talent lead for neither one, but this is going to be, of course, an important fight. Immortal number 3, these boys start scaling very soonish here, and this is going to help, of course, securing maybe even a top fort for one of the 2 teams. So once again, they're just, this is actually like a bit more passive right now. Here comes that Starboard on the other hand, they're going for it again, nice body blocks by Caffeine, and the damage output from Arthalon. Job well done. Proteus starting to move in from the side, but guess who's missing? It's Dream. He went to the top and burst one of the waves away. Now he's starting to move actually to the top lane again. He sees that wave, he wants experience, and he is going to get that. Caffeine is zoning, Zul is at the top, and Zeratul instead is trying to sneak in from behind and put some damage onto the Immortal, but overall, Zul of course getting experience for his team right now. Yeah, Zeratul is getting annoying, but now we are having iDream with the team and starting to look for a good target for Bone Prison. K1 Pro going for the chase. Whoa, going actually very deep for this one. Uses the Mighty Gust, they want him, and they get Zeratul. Great play here, and now, of course, Sundering again. They go for Dream, but he survives. What a Rain of Vengeance. Well played, but Father is dead. Arthalon went in from the side. The resets are too strong, and Lunara is down now too. And this is the opportunity that they need with a 5 versus 3, but 5 versus 2 on the map to go straight for the Immortal, and they burst it down to half health, and now they have the access to the level 13 talent as well. Static Shield helping out also against Zeratul. The Crapify has been chosen as well. And we're seeing even for like Li Ming now also the Glass Cannon, so even extra damage is something that they are currently trying to do. So in this case, we have Pladeus already there. We're seeing the lockdown with the Bone Prison. Nice Void on the other hand, but still, can they really follow that up with the damage? Do they have enough here? They don't, so they need to let it go. And we're having again a push against the Immortal, and this time it's going to be an easy win for Cloud9. So they get this one done. They're having once more also at the top lane, then another fort that they can burst through. The wall hasn't been taken yet, but iDream is starting to go in and try and take this. Well, with him starting to move for that, we could actually see him try to go through the structures before, but we had everyone else moving back to get mana and hit points, so he's not really willing to move in for this, and for very good reason. If he dies now and it's turned into a 5 versus 4, then they can't really push as heavily with the Immortal as they want to, and we are looking at an Immortal with still 50% shield, so the fort is definitely going to fall. Zeratul is down, and fly in by Falstad, trying to go for the Mighty Gust, and he gets one in, but there is no follow-up. They're creating a lot of space. Like, that might not have resulted in a kill, but it's creating massive space for that Immortal to go through the fort, and that Immortal still has more or less full health. So the Immortal can really start to go in and, yeah, push this lane through, and they might at least, I guess they're going to at least get the wall here. So they're going in for that. Zeratul is attempting to drop the bot lane here, and he wants level 13 for his team, so that's one of the main reasons why Claudius is actually not starting to move back yet. He will soon enough, but this is starting to pressure the keep as well, and we are only 12 minutes into the game, and at this point actually, without Zeratul, this thing is gonna fall. Zeratul isn't there, they're not committing completely, and that is keep. 12-minute keep. Finally level 13 also for Blaze, but of course in this case right now we are seeing Cloud9 heading into level 16. And here we have it, we're seeing Spell Shield, we have Assassin's Blade taken, we're seeing also the Greater Spell Shield even now committed to on the side of Lunara, and the Frost Shot for Vada, so maybe a bit more control that can help them. Claudius has to jump out though, he was really low here already. And again, the Mighty Gust creating space and allowing these 3 heroes here to, well, either move back or just like commit to a 5 versus 3 for a few seconds, which they're definitely not willing to take. The idea here was, of course, for Team Blaze to force an issue on same talents. They know that in a few seconds, level 16 is going to hit for the opponent, and then it's going to be a very difficult game for them. So this is kind of the thought process behind it right now. Yeah, Caffeine Polymorph didn't actually commit to a jump yet. Good polymorph timing, by the way. If the follow-up would have been there with the damage, they might have been able to snipe him, but that didn't happen. Now we're having also amplified damage taken. If Zul gets in range for one of his Bone Prisons, then one of these heroes is very likely to fall. And that could be... yeah, they are too far out already. But if they are finding Zeratul, they could still work. Sundering being used. They engage into 16 versus 13. The Rain of Vengeance doesn't hit enough. Nice Void Prison, but this is not going to work out for them. I question that Mighty Gust. I really feel saving Jason with the Mighty Gust is not necessarily what was the best option there. I guess that could have been a kill. Yeah. Not 100% certain what K1 Pro was doing there. I didn't really get the feeling that they were in any risk of dying. Like, the Void Prism was already over. Most of the heroics have been committed at this point. There was no Rain of Vengeance, and we didn't really see anyone that could have delivered the damage. So I feel that Mighty Gust saved Lunara more than it did anything for Cloud9. It was still a very good engagement for them because of a lot of their rogue abilities were actually committed there. And they still have 16 versus 13, but I feel like they might have even been able to do a bit more. Maybe they want to play it super safe right now, but for now, Avatar already been used. They're still going for the Immortal, already at half health. Caffeine is starting to move into the middle of the map, and everybody else is looking for a potential target. Keep in mind that with the amplified damage, iDream can now really start to lock down extremely hard. Already Arthur moving to the bottom, trying to well up here. And the important part at this point is really still 16 versus 13 talents. Like, this is really the crucial moment at this point. If you go for it right now, if you fight, if your team plays, then you might run in trouble. Skeleton Mages have been used. Oh my god, the Force Wall of Doom has been executed. And the Immortal helps out. This was a great gust, by the way. That Immortal stun. Oh, Caffeine! Oh, he's down! The Immortal! This is really the important part. Double stun on the Immortal. First he's saving Thrall and he's... Oh, wow. And then he's killing King Caffeine. First the save on Thrall, then the kill against King Caffeine. The Immortal is making it possible. And now we might actually still see plays coming back into this. 16 versus 15. It was the Force Wall of Doom. And still, they didn't die. It was so well done, but that Immortal stun just completely screwed them over. Now look at that damage, especially Lunara, with that Nature's Calling on level 7, and boy is she dropping that Immortal. Here comes another Void Prism, guys, this is gonna be bad. Oh my god, what a horrible timing on the release. So they actually screw the timing here, and that means that not a single one of the Rain of Vengeance waves is hitting. Not one, but they get the Immortal. They get the Immortal, and that's the important part now, of course. Well, one of the important parts. They want level 16 as well. Caffeine actually wants the kill. And here comes again the Skeleton Mages. Big Impact is slowed already. And they're starting to go in for the kill. They're trying to get it, and I feel they will. Right now, this is looking really bad for Thrall, and bam, down he goes. Well played. That Boomerang had a lot of damage there. Cloud9 is probably a little bit salty that they didn't get the Immortal, and I mean, for good reason. It looked for a long, long time that they would have an easy pick on that. Turns out, though, that especially those stuns on the Immortals are pretty damn good. For now, though, on the other hand, we can still see them maybe not save the fort, but they can still burst that down quite easily. 16 versus 16, and well, we all know what that means. First of all, the Rending Cleave after the Assassin's Blade. They even saved the fort, by the way. We're seeing the Forked Lightning for Thrall, who's going to get more damage in. Well, actually not quite. I mean, yeah, he can poke, but he doesn't have the follow-through, so that's not going to help him. The Frostwill's Grace has been chosen so that he can actually get his little heal pot out there, which is going to be super cool for him as the only frontliner. Brightwing now with a Greater Polymorph, Starwood Spear taken for Lunara, and Executioner. And of course, we're going to take a bit of a look at the damage output so far as well. 32,000 on Li Ming, not too shabby, but nothing compared to what we're seeing on Vala and also on, of course, Lunara right now. We have 45,000 and 39,000 there as well. So that was actually, that's like the main output in damage that they have. It's overall 11 kills against 2, by the way. But we have still that level lead for Cloud9. And at this point, of course, they really want to get a couple of fights in as well. The heroic abilities are, by the way, all up. And if we are seeing a proper Void Prism with a Rain of Vengeance, then it could be a disaster. But the one that they executed over here in the earlier fight for the Immortal, that was definitely a huge mistiming that they had there. Communication not spot on, but of course this is the 5th map. They've been playing a lot of games and stuff like that. It happens. It shouldn't, and in this case it was a big deal, but yeah, it happens every now and then. That it looked bad and it was bad, and it could have actually resulted in Cloud9 maybe even turning it around. For now, though, on the other hand, we're having once again the Immortal spawning, and this is going to be a big one. I mean, right now, this is going to be the next set. We are currently 18 minutes in, and keep in mind that at the top, of course, that keep has been destroyed a bit earlier. I mean, we've been showing this, we've been talking about this. With this one down, the top lane is pushing, but once again, Immortal number 2 is going, or the next Immortal here is going to have a huge impact on things. And how is Cloud9 going to play it? Are they going to try and go for the damage? Currently, King Caffeine is the only one who's at the Immortal spot, together with Dunk Train, actually, who started to join in. And they put incredible damage out, especially K1 Pro with the Gathering Storm is now suddenly having a little bit more options here. Mighty Gust just, like, why not? Just use it. Uh-oh, Caffeine jumps out, advertised there. Sundering is nearly taking him down. The Rain of Vengeance is not hitting anyone. Not anyone. Rain of Vengeance has not done anything. Jason is falling. You jump back on Brightwing with a blink heal, but this is a triple kill. Or is it? Maybe not. Nah, Brightwing goes still down. Triple kill, and it could also, it's a quad kill. This could be game. This should be game. They're going for Thrall, and this is the end. They go through the wall. They can go for core immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, Cloud9 is going to be the champion of Enter the Storm Season 2. Blaze with an amazing tournament, an amazing run. They really gave Cloud9 a run for their money, but Cloud9, they win the last map, they win on Battlefield of Eternity, they take the 3-2 victory in the best of 5. And we have Cloud9, the Season 2 champion of the Enter the Storm North America. Congratulations, incredibly well played, and a deserved victory here for Cloud9 at the Enter the Storm.